Tuskegee River along the crown jewel of the city known as Columbus, Georgia. Two teams renew a rivalry that has been going on for 83 years in this city. Tuskegee and Morehouse will do battle at A.J. McClung Stadium right here on ESPN. Up next. And for 83 years, Tuskegee and Morehouse have met here at historic A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium. Something old and always something new, always something good on the grill, as these two teams do battle not only for bragging rights, but for supremacy in the SIAC. Hello, everybody, and my name is James Verrett, and we take a look at the SIAC standings. This is a game that is pivotal to see who will make it to the SIAC championship game coming up in November. Benedict, Albany, Morehouse in the east atop, and Tuskegee all along in the west as the reigning champions. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm James Verrett, along with two-time Super Bowl champion Tyrone Poole. And Tyrone, you're a Fort Valley State alum, but this rivalry really signifies what this conference is all about.
Yeah, this SIAC conference signals all types of rivalries, but this Morehouse and Tuskegee game, this is the granddaddy of them all.
And for Tuskegee, they have a new quarterback in Ahmad Duramus. He has really got thrust into the starting position, but it's his job to try to ignite this always potent offense.
Yeah, Ahmad Duramus, I'm giving him the nickname AD all day, and that's what he's going to have to do today. He's going to have to throw that ball all day to get Tuskegee offense in a groove, which they love to throw the ball.
And for Morehouse, they have found lightning in a bottle in quarterback Michael Sims. He has propelled this team to the #1 statistical offense in the league.
Yeah, and Michael Sims, his nickname today is Make Something Happen. So he's going to have to do the same thing with this Morehouse offense. Keep it moving. Keep it trickling down the field, as the old saying goes. And he's done a great job so far.
For both teams, they are trying to get their swag back or maintain a win streak. We're going to see how these teams fare this afternoon at historic A.J. McClung Stadium. Tuskegee versus Morehouse coming up next right here on ESPN. And for 83 years, Tuskegee and Morehouse have made this more than just a game. Since 1935, they have met here in Columbus, Georgia on historic A.J. McClung Stadium to renew their rivalry, known better as the Tuskegee Morehouse Classic. It's more than just football. It's a celebration of their school's history and also a celebration of this great city. A balmy afternoon, highs in the low 90s here in Columbus, Georgia. But in this series, it has been a hot, burning Tuskegee Golden Tigers who have dominated. Morehouse has only won once in the last 12 games, and the Golden Tigers have won 20 of the last 24, none better than last year's meeting in which it was an overtime victory for the Golden Tigers. The head coach for Tuskegee, Willie Slater, in 13 seasons, he is basically the second winningest coach in the state of Alabama. Only Nick Saban has more wins, but Willie Slater is trying to get his team really back on track. And for the Morehouse Maroon Tigers, it is Rich Freeman in his 11th season, and what he's trying to do is end the pain and suffering of losing over and over again to Tuskegee. And our head referee, Fred Dimple, he'll be our man in the white hat this afternoon, and we are ready for kickoff. For 83 years, these two teams have done battle right here at historic A.J. McClung Stadium, and now we are ready for kickoff. Tyrone, this should be an exciting football game. One team undefeated in Morehouse and another team trying to maintain their swag, as you see Santo Dunn along with Reese Knuckles back deep for Morehouse.
Yeah, it's going to be an excellent game, James. And like they say, let's kick it off and let's get it on.
Dante Hall to kick for Tuskegee. Morehouse will take it inside their own 5. And quickly wrapped up and brought down before the 15 is Santo Dunn. An excited Tuskegee team, and they want to play exciting football because they really haven't played up to the standard that the Golden Tiger fans are known for.
Yeah, usually the kickoffs, every kickoff determines the outset of the game, so it's great.
Taking the field now, the sophomore quarterback, Michael Sims. You see his numbers, only 2 interceptions, 9 touchdowns. This is a young man that came to Morehouse as a walk-on, and he has become lightning in a bottle for an offense that leads the league.
Yeah, Sims, he's very high on statistics in SIAC, and Tuskegee defense, their job is to stop him today.
This is a high-powered offense, and one of the reasons is that running back right there is Santo Dunn, who is able to get 8 yards on that carry.
You know what makes Morehouse's offense so good? They're balanced. They throw the ball and they run the ball very well. So again, if you look at the stats in the SIAC, they are very balanced.
Always trying to go with the no huddle. They give it to Dunn again, enough for a first down, and Moore out to the 30-yard line, makes it to that second level of the Golden Tiger defense. Just a sophomore, not a very big young man, but you see his production very high, averaging almost 7 yards a carry.
Yeah, you give the ball to this guy twice, it's a first down. So look for Morehouse to feed him, feed him, feed him.
Looks like a broken play. Sims going to try to take it and gains about 3 yards on what looks like a botched play. But this young man, coach says, that plays with a chip on his shoulder out of Detroit, done very well so far for Morehouse.
Yeah, he brings that up north tempo down south, and right there you saw he had ability to run and got out of bounds.
DeVoris Thomas, the reigning player of the year and defensive preseason player of the year, and also defensive player of the week, had 12 tackles last week in their win versus Lane College.
He's going to play big today.
Sims trying to find a receiver, and tip play, great eyes and hands by the secondary receiver, able to make a huge play right there. Good play by Morehouse.
I tell you what, if there's an indication of a play, which you're going to have happen all day doing today, if there's a play that indicates how the game may go, this is the play that maybe Morehouse is going to look back on and say, wow, this was the play that ignited our win or the next drive in this game. But that was a great heads-up play.
Travion Baker made the reception. That's his first reception of the year. He really wasn't planning on making that one. Good heads-up play for him. Now they give it to Bailey Jr. Frank Bailey Jr., part of that 1-2 punch in the backfield for Morehouse. Stop made by Khalil Gray, one of the linebackers of this talented defense, number 1 in the league in overall defense is Tuskegee.
Yeah, Frank Bailey, we were talking to Coach Freeman, and he said, hey, don't you guys forget about Frank Bailey. You know, he can carry the load himself. So, that again, this is what makes Morehouse's offense, this 2018 offense, so dangerous. They have that 1-2 punch on the running game, and they can throw the ball with Sims.
Pitch out to Dunn, and he's trying to elude Leatherwood and then a host of other Golden Tigers right there to wrap him up, along with Khalil Gray. But Terrence Leatherwood right there to lead the way for Tuskegee, playing that defensive end spot.
Yeah, I know we talk about Morehouse's offense, but Tuskegee defense, Leatherwood. Like we always talk about this guy, his last name just sounds like football, Leatherwood. And he's going to have to play lights out just like he did on that particular play to keep Morehouse's offense in check.
Third down, trying to get out beyond midfield for Morehouse. Sims getting some pressure and makes the catch, but well short. Reese Knuckles on the reception. And looks like they're going to have to make a decision if they want to go for it on 4th down right here at midfield or punt it away.
Yeah, I think in this type of game, you don't take no chances. You go ahead and punt the ball, get your defense out there. It makes no sense to try to give a Tuskegee, a great offensive team, a short field.
And to punt for Morehouse, Jordy Andrade. Averaging about 36 yards a punt. And Tuskegee will let it take a bounce. It does take a Morehouse bounce and out of bounds right at the 5-yard line. A long opening drive it will be for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers, but for Morehouse, their punter, Andrade, does his job.
Yeah, you know, he wearing a good number, too. I like that 38. That's my old football number.
Yeah, there you go.
In the pros. 2 Super Bowls with that number 38.
But you never punted.
Never punted, but I returned punts.
You did return. And we look at Ahmad Duramus, the young man from Gadsden, Alabama, the suburb of Birmingham, and you see his numbers. One of the reasons why he doesn't have a lot, he is the backup quarterback thrust into the starting position because Jamarcus Ezel had season-ending surgery after week 2. First play from scrimmage, and they go with one of their scat backs. Teron Taylor gets the late start, and he gets his helmet knocked off, but enough for a 15-yard gain. And he is one of the freshmen that Coach Slater says has really electrified this team.
Yeah, you see right here, Tuskegee comes out with a quick snap, gives him a delayed handoff. Great opening by the offensive lineman. Great play call. Gives Tuskegee some breathing room.
And when that helmet came off, it looks like Taylor got shaken up on that play. But good news is he is on one knee. So we always want to see that, especially when a young man loses his helmet.
Yeah, again, as we look at this play, he's checking out the injury here. A lot of guys coming in, the helmet comes off, you know, mouthpiece comes out of his mouth, but he's still trying to go forward. And, you know, these are the things that happen in football. You know, equipment is not, you know, always, you can't prevent injuries. You just hope that guys don't do anything to have a crucial injury that could be career-threatening.
Puts a little bit more pressure on Ahmad Duramus. He is top 5 on the team. And you see Javarius Cheatham, one of their top receivers, stands at 6'4", 175, 19 receptions. He's got 5 TDs. He wants to get the ball, but this is his second quarterback so far this season.
Yeah, I got to see Cheatham do a little bit more. I want to see him do more.
Stop and go, looking for Cheatham, and this one looks like it goes awry. Somebody wanted to get a flag, but that ball looks like it was a little bit too far ahead of it.
Again, this is the guy that Tuskegee has to go to. Cheatham, he has to be able to open up the sideline so that if Morehouse is trying to put an extra man in the box, Cheatham allows them to really the offense to be able to expand the throwing game and loosen up that run defense of Morehouse.
And one of the players to watch for Morehouse, Antonio Johnson, you see his tackles, but he has a lot of solos. He is one of the leaders for this defense that will try to corral this Golden Tiger offense. Looks like a broken play. Duramus on the keeper, able to get about 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, sometimes the plays look like a broken play, but it's a actually designed play. You fake it to the actual running back, and he becomes like a blocker, and the quarterback keeps it. But on that particular play, it does look like the running back was supposed to get the handoff, and he didn't get it, and Duramus had to do what he had to do.
Justin Owens coming in at fullback for the Golden Tigers, and looks like a hard snap count. Move that Morehouse Maroon Tiger defense.
Nine, 5 yards. Third down. Correction. In a first down.
And Fred Dimple already being busy, and Coach Slater wants to see this offense consistently do positive things, but right there, good job by his quarterback, able to get enough for the first down on that play. Owens on the carry to the far side, and he is off and running. Justice Owens beyond midfield, pushing his way forward beyond the 30, out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. This is a fullback who thinks he's a running back, and right there, he let his running back attributes show.
Yeah, Justin Owens, he's one of those guys that every time we do a Tuskegee game, he always shows up on the statistics. Here, Tuskegee gets to the outside, challenges Morehouse's defense on the edge, and Morehouse's defense is not able to secure the edge. Owens picks up a big gain for Tuskegee.
Sometimes people don't account for him. Coach Willie Slater said when he came to school he wanted to be a running back, transfer from Jacksonville State. He said, no, son, you're more suited as a fullback, and now he's getting more touches at that fullback position.
You know, it's amazing how the fullback position really is becoming obsolete in football. You have the tailback and the quarterback use pistol.
There was a defensive penalty that propelled the Golden Tigers inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line. DeRamus hands it off to Tyler Hayes, and Hayes able to get some positive yards. Hayes plays a little both ways, started off as a linebacker and also plays a little fullback.
Tyler Hayes, that's, you know, good that he is able to show his athletic ability to be able to play offense and defense. You don't really see too many guys like that anymore. You know, you see a lot in high school, but I think even when I was in college, I went a little both ways, offense and defense. I was all over the place.
Wherever they needed.
And wherever needed. I think that's why I got drafted. Showing all my skills.
If one doesn't... So now back-to-back penalties against Morehouse defense.
Back up.
Trying to play with a little bit more physical swagger about them up against a Tuskegee team that's known for its physicality. And right now that's not working in Morehouse's favor, as now inside the 5 we find Tuskegee. And this time the defense able to do a good job of coming in and getting the stop. Brundre Conway in on the tackle.
Yeah, this is how you shoot the gap. This is how you stop the run. You come in, great play. Tuskegee wants to run the ball. Morehouse's defense says no. No way, not today.
Kenny Gann at running back for Tuskegee. Ball is loose. Fumble on the play. Morehouse says they have the ball at the 12, and the officials concur. Turnover, Tuskegee in favor of Morehouse.
Yeah, you know, sometimes this is the problem that you have with that RPO, that run pass option. You know, the quarterback still trying to read that D lineman. The ball doesn't quite get put in the belly of the running back, and these are the things that happen, the fumble.
Once again, that was Tyler Hayes. Remember, that's a young man started off playing linebacker, moved to fullback. When you're receiving those hits, sometimes it's hard to do the other job, hold on to the football.
That could be true.
And looks like the officials say that ground, or he was already down when he received the ball, or Tuskegee recovered the fumble. So now instead of Morehouse 1st and 10, we're looking at Tuskegee 3rd and goal. DeRamus looking in the end zone, finds Cheatham, but he is out of bounds, a little bit too high, and he could not use his twinkle toes in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, I think if DeRamus had gotten that ball off just a little bit sooner, as tall as Cheatham is, 6'4", throw it up. And he runs a post. You can't quite see it, but he runs a post towards the post, the goal post. The ball laid up just a little too far, couldn't get his feet in bounds. But at 6'4", he is a big target. Throw it up. Let him out-jump the defenders.
Tuskegee Orange on to kick for Tuskegee. Kick is up, and it is good. 7:42 left to play in the opening quarter, and Tuskegee has marched down the field and got on the scoreboard first right here on ESPN.
I didn't choose it. It chose me.
part of the Morehouse contingency that has made it here to Columbus, Georgia, here at A.J. McClung Stadium, as their Maroon Tigers trail Tuskegee Golden Tigers 3-0. They had a student bus from Morehouse that came down. And, you know, anytime on the weekend in Atlanta, it's sort of hard to pull people away from all those exciting things, but happy to see them. Reese Knuckles back deep for Morehouse. Dalton Hall to do the kicking for the Golden Tigers. Knuckles will take it at his own 6. Knuckles has some room to run and is upended at about the 23-yard line. Good open field tackle there by Cedric Cuff for Tuskegee.
And Santo Dunn, he's one of those guys, again, that we are going to keep our eye on. He's the guy that really Morehouse loves to try to get him involved in many different ways.
So we've seen Michael Sims and company able to move the offense. Harry Williams, the offensive coordinator in his second year for Morehouse. Looked like a little trickery there. Santo Dunn with a direct snap in the quarterback position, able to get some positive yards.
Yeah, all Morehouse trying to do on that particular play is just spread the offense, spread the defense, and Tuskegee spread their offense and run the ball. So usually as a player, defensive guy, if you see them spread the field like that, you know they're trying to run the ball. And that's exactly what they did there, a little trickery.
Trying to keep them on their heels, but now Michael Sims back in at that quarterback position. Trying to run something quick and easy. Able to find Amir Smith. He may be small, but very quick beyond midfield. First down and more for the Maroon Tigers down to the 30, 41-yard line.
Yeah, what I like about this play that Morehouse just ran, you don't see the running back that actually swung to the left of the screen, but what they did a, what they call it, positioning. They put guys in different positions on the football field to spread the defense. And somebody had to respect the swing pass by the running back. They ran a little curl, dumped it off, picked up a nice gain, first down for Morehouse.
Amir Smith, one of the seniors from Atlanta Grady High School. Give to Frank Bailey Jr., and Jr. not going too far, met by Khalil Gray and company. Gray so far with about 3 or 4 tackles, leading this defense that has really had to carry Tuskegee as the offense tries to figure it out.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I look at Tuskegee as the New England Patriots, not because I played with the Patriots, but because they are a team that they're always going to be in position to be good, and you can never count Tuskegee out.
Morehouse loads up one side of the field, going with a wide receiver screen play, and has some positive yards there, but not enough for the first down. Good reception there by Marquez Pride, the redshirt freshman from Sebring, Florida.
Yeah, it's a great play call again by Morehouse. Again, this is why these guys are so good offensively. They spread the field. They make you play from sideline to sideline. And that receiver screen is a long throw, but the defense has to react and cover the whole field. And if you get a couple of blocks here and there, it can turn into a big play for you.
Trevion Baker, the fullback who was Johnny on the spot in the last series to keep their drive alive, in at the fullback position. This time give to Bailey Jr. Gets enough of the first, still on the far side, knocked out of bounds at about the 23. The little running back, Frank Bailey Jr., along with Santo Dunn, a good 1-2 punch.
Again, Frank Bailey Jr., again, he's that guy that Coach Freeman says, hey, don't forget about him. You know, he's that kind of Darryl Strohs with the Eagles. You know, you give it to him and let him dink and dunk and let him use his quickness, get behind those big linemen and hide, and all of a sudden you see him running upfield for a big gain.
Finds a receiver in Gooden, the biggest receiver that they have on the field, and he is close to a first down. Looks like he has it at the 11-yard line. Tremel Gooden from Creekside High School, and he is quickly brought down, but not before he gets the first. Tony O'Keenan there on the tackle.
Odom with the contact. That play
This is great balance by Morehouse. They've run the ball, they've thrown the ball, and they've thrown the ball. Michael Sims has thrown the ball where the open guy is. That's what I like about him. He's making good choices when it comes to finding the opening guy.
High snap, Sims able to get it quickly, does a smart move by falling on the football because there were Golden Tigers right there ready to pounce.
Yeah, that shotgun, this is why sometimes I like the shotgun. I understand it gives the quarterback an opportunity to read the offense or the defense better. But at the same time, if that center has a nose on top of him or there's a blitz that is about to come by the defense, sometimes you get an errant snap and it could go over that quarterback head just like it happened right there. But smart play by Sims to just fall on the ball.
Pushes them back about 6 yards. They can get inside the 2 and still get a first without scoring. Sims getting some pressure. He decides to run inside the 10 and gets out of bounds at about the 7. But there is a flag on the play.
Michael Sims on the quarterback keeper. Flag on the play.
Yeah, I like this guy, Michael Sims.
Holding. Offense. Second down.
And holding called on Morehouse. Trey Wilson, the senior, called for the hold. And that pushes them back rather than having 3rd and short. They're looking at 2nd and 16.
Yeah, this is where Michael Sims has to go over and tell Wilson, hey, tap him on the back and say, hey, come on, big guy. We can't have those type of plays right there.
Trying to keep the field spread is Morehouse. Sims throws a bullet, and it goes through the hands of Tamarick Vanover Jr.
Yeah, Tamarick Vanover again. His dad played in the NFL, so that was a good route he ran there. And also, Sims, great concept by what Morehouse is doing. They're spreading and making Tuskegee play the whole field. Sims just a little bit too high on that throw, but great concept offensively by Morehouse.
And it looks like the officials just trying to make sure that they have the play clock correct. And it's begun. Less than 23 seconds for them to make a decision on 3rd and 26. And it looks like Fred Dempfel, the head referee, is trying to make sure they get the play clock correct. Looks like they'll have 9 seconds left. And they reset it. Looks like there was a mix-up there. Good for Morehouse. Hopefully they got the play finally in on 3rd and 26. Getting some pressure, throws, and reception made. Looks like they got close to the original line of scrimmage. Amir Smith on the reception.
Yeah, again, I like the Sims. He does a great job. His patience. It looks like any other typical quarterback would have taken off and run it. But this guy's looking to throw the ball. Great pass, great reception, moves Morehouse closer to that end zone.
Fernando Sells-Demora, his longest so far this season, 36 yards. This one will be about 34. And it is up, and it is good. Sells-Demora gets Morehouse on the board. We're all tied up at 3 with 1:55 left to play in the opening quarter.
Nice catch, my man.
That's going to be on SportsCenter.
And we see the always concerned Rich Freeman. He wants to get over the hump, only beaten Tuskegee one time as his tenure as head coach here at Morehouse. And back deep, Ladario Petway for the Golden Tigers. Petway takes it at his own 10, stumbles a little bit, gets out to the 20, and is brought down at about the 27-yard line. And we'll see the Tuskegee Marching Band at halftime. When we come back, we'll have more football action right here on ESPN.
A very lucky stupid old chair.
The always stoic Willie Slater, one of the deans of coaches in the state of Alabama, second winningest so far currently. And right now, pass from DeRamus finds Justice Owens. Owens once again beyond midfield into Morehouse territory. Huge pass play for the Golden Tigers, finding their fullback, Justice Owens.
Yeah, on this particular play here, Tuskegee runs 3 seams. You don't see the 2 seams on the outside, but Justice Owens is part of that seam. He's one-on-one with the backer, get behind him, and DeRamus finds him for a big pickup for Tuskegee.
So far, Justice Owens has been the X factor in the offense. Morehouse has not been able to account for him. 1st and 10 in Morehouse territory, out to about the 32-yard line is DeRamus and the Golden Tigers. Has time, high, unable to connect with Owens on that one.
Yeah, again, Tuskegee, just like Morehouse, their offense, they are built with great concepts. In that particular play there, DeRamus didn't have anybody open, so he had to check the ball down. Just happened to overthrow Owens just a little too much. Had to put him on a ladder to catch that one.
You have to remember, Ahmad DeRamus thrust into the starting position because of the injury of Jamarcus Ezell. He's out for the rest of the year, so that connection, he hasn't had a lot of reps with the ones, and he's learning on the job. Option play for DeRamus, found some room on the outside, looks like enough for a first down. That's what makes him dangerous, the ability not only to throw, but he can take it on his own with the run.
Well, again, we're looking at that RPO. They call it run-pass option again. You read that defensive end. If he crashes, quarterback keeps it, gets around the corner, because if that defensive end crashes, that means the defense doesn't have a contained guy, and it's an easy pickup, just like you saw in that particular play.
Coach Slater calls the plays, and he's trying to make sure he gets all his players back right now. Phillip Brown. Oh, they give it to DeRamus. He's going to keep it once again inside the 10, down to about the 5. Ahmad DeRamus with a good play fake, and you can see how hyped up he is.
Again, you got to keep your eye on that defensive end. If he crashes, if he peeks in at that running back, right there he peeked in, DeRamus kept it, picked up great yards. Again, the RPO run-pass option can be dangerous and productive for the offense, but dangerous for the defense if that defensive end doesn't play that quarterback correctly.
So far in this drive, it's been Owens and DeRamus, the only 2 offensive dynamos for the Golden Tigers that they're in the red zone. We end the first quarter with momentum in favor of the Golden Tigers. We're all tied up at 3, and you can see they're clapping for more. But this has been a game as intense as this rivalry has always been for the past 83 years. The pageantry, even the smoke, and all the great plays. It's Tuskegee Morehouse. More coming up. In the South, when the temperatures in October is still in the 90s, fans have to do everything it takes to stay calm, cool, and collected, even in a rivalry game. All the fans are along the berm because they're trying to stay in the shade and cool. We start the second quarter as the Golden Tigers are getting closer to the goal line strike. Taron Taylor there on the carry. Check that, Phillip Brown on the carry, his first carry of the afternoon, the young sophomore. Brings up a 2nd and goal. And Doremus keeps it. This time the defense for Morehouse able to bend but not break, able to get that tackle. Antonio Johnson, the senior from Center Point, Alabama, there to wrap him up.
Yeah, this is where as an offense you have to be productive. And I think this is where Tuskegee, talking to Coach Slater, he's kind of worried a little bit about his offense. They get down in the red zone, as they call it, the 20 to the goal line, and they can't quite punch it in for touchdowns. Now, Morehouse's defense, this is where you want to have great red zone defense. So we're going to see who has the best offensive defense in the red zone.
High snap. Running back trying to push forward, but unable to get over the hump as that defense once again steps up big.
Now, what I like about this, you're going to see, count the number of black shirts, black jerseys that you see around that ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how you play goal line, red zone defense. Great job by Morehouse getting as many guys around the ball. It makes it an easier tackle for the defense.
Eric Wright on that carry. Hussick Arns again for his second field goal of the afternoon. And we do have a flag. May have had some movement.
Offside. Defense. Number 9. This to the goal. 4th down.
Defense moves half the distance to the goal. Decision time for Tuskegee. Travian Lucky was not lucky on that play. And looks like Willie Slater and the Golden Tigers say, you know what, that's close enough for us. We're going for the gusto.
I think here you kick the field goal, but hey, that's why I'm up here in the booth with you, James, and not on the sideline.
Give to Owens. Right call. Justice Owens in for 6.
Again, like I said, that's why I'm up here in the booth with you and not on the sideline. I would try to kick the field goal and just play for the point. But hey, when you got a person like Justin Owens, this guy, he's just showed us that he can pick up big yards. He's a heavy, hard downfield runner. Puts his head down, shoulder pads lowered, goes over the goal line, touchdown, Tuskegee.
Offsides by Morehouse leads to a different decision for Willie Slater, and the dancers dance, and the fans are happy with Justin Owens' 2-yard plunge.
Yeah, Justin Owens, he's been showing that he can not only get big yards, but he can score on short yardage.
And we do have a player for Morehouse getting off the field. Looks like he's a little shaken up. Travian Lucky. Looks like that right leg is giving him a little trouble.
Yeah, wait.
Orange for the point after attempt. And it is successful. And it was Justice Owens who's saying, hey, I need some justice on this play coming right at you. He's able to get in and give the Golden Tigers the lead.
We've got you. Join our team. Choose kindness, shred hate.
MLB, ESPN, and X Games are teaming up to shred hate. Learn more at shredhate.org.
And right now, Tuskegee has a little comfort with a 10-3 lead right here in the second quarter of the 83rd annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic here in Columbus, Georgia. Justice Owens in the, what you would call that, tent? Medical tent?
Got the medical tent, get out the shade tent.
I like that, get out the shade tent. Reese Knuckles trying to take it from his own 10, running out of room, flag is thrown, and he is brought down by a host of white shirts. Now head referee Fred Dempfel with the call.
And the flag on the return.
During
Let's take a look at that touchdown by Justice Owens.
Yeah, let's go back and look at this touchdown. You see that great movement by the offensive line. Look at the hole opened up. Richardson, Bentley, Harrison, Roman, Holmes. They opened up the hole for Justice Owens. Great call by Willie Slater, believing in his offense, and it pays off, giving a touchdown.
And Owens, after that play, Julian Turner landed on top of him, which forced him to go into the medical, as you say today for a hot day, shade tent.
Yeah, the shade tent.
Get a little cool. So now with the penalty, moves Morehouse deep into their own territory, about the 12, and looks like there's another stoppage of play.
Offense. After this is the goal. Still first down.
Back-to-back no-nos for the Maroon Tigers. Holding on the kickoff return, and now delay of game pushes them inside their 5 down to the 3. This offense and this mindset of an undefeated Morehouse team, this is not what we expected to see, Tyrone, to open this game.
Not at all, James. Not at all.
Dunn slips and falls, but he had Terrence Leatherwood right there facing him. That's not a one-on-one you want to match up when you see Dunn at 5'7" and Leatherwood standing at about 6'2".
Well, you know, this Morehouse offense, they have the luxury to be able to throw the ball. Michael Sims has done a great job in the first quarter. They've had great route concepts. And if I was Morehouse, I would stick with what they have been successful with. Spread the defense and let Sims throw the ball to the open guy.
Sims in a shotgun in his own end zone. Give to Dunn, and he's met by a host of white shirts. DeVaris Thomas, preseason Defensive Player of the Year, right there to lead the way along with Khalil Gray.
Yeah, DeVaris Thomas and all this Tuskegee defense, they can pin their ears back and kind of go after the quarterback now because it's 3rd down. But again, you see here at Tuskegee defense, they're all eyeing their gaps. That's the great thing about defenses. Guys on defense know their responsibilities. And Tuskegee here, everyone stayed in their gaps, eliminated the open space for Morehouse to run the ball, and Morehouse now looking at a 3rd down.
They need to get out to about the 19-yard line to be sure of a first in 3rd and long. Once again, a run. Good cutback by Dunn, but not enough to get the first down. Gets to the original line of scrimmage and maybe 1 more yard, which brings up a punting situation. Thomas right there on the tackle for Tuskegee.
Yeah, again, 3 straight runs on this particular series here. Didn't throw the ball. I would expect that Morehouse with Sims being as good as he is and the concept of their offense, they at least have thrown the ball within those 3 plays. But again, 3 straight runs, and they're actually punting the ball.
Petway back deep, and to do the punting for Morehouse is Jordy Andrade.
And with a team like Tuskegee going to give them short yardage, so this team can go up and score again.
Fair catch for Petway, and he gets the reception at about the 44-yard line. When we come back, we'll see if Tuskegee can add on to their lead. They're up by 7 right here on ESPN.
If you want to see Wayne Rooney, this is where it's at, ESPN Plus.
Cool.
I'm telling you, man, it's great.
And welcome back. You see Julian Turner, one of the linebackers for Morehouse, trying to do something to stop this Golden Tiger offense. Ahmad Durham is under duress, and he is brought down. Good defensive play by Antonio Johnson. First sack of the game between the two teams, and Johnson is credited for the sack. And you see Julian Turner, the young man from Pinkerton, Ohio. He missed this game last year. Guess what? He was interning with Tyler Perry at Tyler Perry Studios, but that wasn't the biggest thing that he did during the offseason. He actually did something that got the whole country a buzz in just a little extra credit that he did that turned into, let's say, a song that could be profitable for him down the road. 2nd and long. Give to Phillip Brown, and Brown able to get some positive yards. Late flag thrown at about the 43. They're going to play about 5 or 6 running backs are the Golden Tigers. And it's a face mask against Morehouse. The defensive penalties really has hurt the Maroon Tigers. Every time they get a stop, they hurt themselves and propel the Tigers closer to another score.
Yeah, types of games like this, you can't shoot yourself in the foot, as the old saying goes. We've seen Morehouse do things to be destructive to themselves. And against a team like Tuskegee and this rivalry, you can't give them an edge. Give them an inch.
Looking to pass to Ramus, trying to find a receiver, overthrows, and only person there was a defensive player for Morehouse. Looks like someone ran the wrong route. Peyton Ramsey and company, along with Javaris Cheatham, looking like, hey, where was that ball going?
Well, actually, what happened on that play, the defense did a great job of actually jamming and getting their hands on Tuskegee receivers and pushed them all together. So there was supposed to have been a corner route run by the inside receiver, but because they got jammed by the Morehouse defensive guys, all the receivers ended up in the same area.
2nd and 10. This time he does find Javaris Cheatham. Cheatham gets inside the 20 and down at about they're going to say that he was out of bounds right at the 20-yard line. Good move by Cheatham.
Yeah, the Ramus right here takes the flat, takes what the defense gives him. Cheatham runs a quick out, 5-yard route to the sideline, avoids a defender, Morehouse defender, picks up some extra yards for the Golden Tigers.
All right, they do improve the spot. He is down at the 16, which brings up 3rd and short. Trying to run the option. And goes nowhere fast.
Yeah, it's that Morehouse defense. It's all over the field. And if you want to stop the option, that's how you do it. You got to have somebody to account for the quarterback. You got to have someone to account for the pitch guy. And you see here they have it all done. A guy for the pitch, a guy for the quarterback. Great defensive play by the Morehouse Tigers.
Jonathan Mathis playing that defensive back, coming up on the play. Arns for the field goal. And they say no good. 32-yard field goal. He got one earlier, but this one goes awry. When we come back, we'll see if Morehouse can use that momentum and get back on the scoreboard.
The ESPN and X games are teaming up to shred hate. Learn more at shredhate.org.
And for the young kicker, Hustic Arns, it's been learning on the job, and on this 37-yard attempt, he thought he had it, and it looked good, but it just went wide right. And right here on the offensive play for Morehouse, positive, and looks like Santo Dunn able to try to ignite. Check that Frank Bailey there on the carry.
Yeah, sometimes those missed field goals take the energy out of the offense or deflates the defense a little bit. And here, Morehouse comes back, get a ball to Santo Dunn around the left side of the offense, picks up big yards for Morehouse.
Opening drive, they were able to keep a high tempo, but it sort of waned so far here in the first half. Now they're going back to that high tempo and trying to budge his way forward is Bailey, and he's able to get 2, possibly 3 yards.
Yeah, again, Tuskegee defense, you're not going to run on these guys consistently. They are big up front. They are athletic, and they are smart guys. So, again, Morehouse, go back to the concept of the run pass. Use Santo Dunn, use Michael Sims, and spread the ball around and continue to do what they were doing in the first quarter, they should find themselves in the end zone.
Sims tries to find his tight end for the first time this afternoon, Ryan Edwards, but incomplete.
Yeah, even though that pass was incomplete, it does put a little bit of fear into the defensive coordinator for Tuskegee. Morehouse, you've seen on the last several plays, they were running the ball. So now they mix it up with a little pass. Sims is a great quarterback. I like his attitude of wanting to make plays happen, and he's a great guy to watch out there in that field.
A little bit under 6 minutes left to play, and the play clock going down to less than 15 seconds on this 3rd and long, and they're going to spread the field with an empty backfield. Finds Knuckles. Knuckles able to get some positive yards, close to a first down depending on the spot.
Yeah, Morehouse goes into an empty backfield set. And what Tuskegee does to balance that up, they go to zone. Makes it an easy read for Sims here. Knuckles wide open, picks up positive yards. Morehouse is on the move.
Reese Knuckles, great football name. And he didn't have to make it up. That's his name, Reese Knuckles. First down for the Maroon Tigers. Quick, finding Knuckles again, and now he's going forward, trying to elude one tackler, but the strong arm of the Golden Tigers able to bring him down.
Now, for a defense, if you're going to stop a spread offense, the way you stop it is read and react. On that particular play, the read and react of the Tuskegee defense allowed that play to Knuckles to not gain as many yards as it could and was designed to get.
Santo Dunn in at running back for Morehouse. Give to Dunn. Dunn's got a huge hole. He finds it and goes for the gusto. 10 has one man to beat into the end zone. Touchdown, Santo Dunn.
Great play call. Great play call again. Morehouse, they spread Tuskegee defense out, and they use the quickness and the agility of Santo Dunn to gain a touchdown. Big run. We'll take another look at it here. The defense is spread it out. It's so spread it out that Santo Dunn basically is like he's playing against nobody on defense. Wide open, uses his speed, gets into the end zone. Touchdown for Morehouse.
42 yards on the scamper for Santo Dunn. Point after attempt by Serge Demora is good. And with less than 5 minutes left to play in the first half, just as any rivalry goes, we're all tied up, and now the level of intensity has risen, and he says, yeah, give me some more. I'm trying to stir up some more.
Yeah, this is such a great play by Tuskegee. Sims hands it off. Great read, great blocking by the offensive line, the receivers. Whenever you get a big play like this, all of the other 10 guys have done their job. Again, you see Dunn running straight at us, cuts back, 42 yards, scamper, touchdown, Morehouse. But that's what Morehouse needs to do. Continue to do that particular formula. Spread Tuskegee's defense out and use the speed and agility and the arm of the quarterback and the speed and agility of the running backs, Bailey and Dunn, and they will have success on offense against this Tuskegee defense.
Now we'll see what Tuskegee can do to answer. Golden Tigers take it inside their 5. Petway with room to run. Ladario Petway out beyond the 45-yard line to the 46. Great return for Ladario Petway.
Yeah, the only letdown when you have a big score like that, the actual kickoff team has to cover. And here the kickoff return team for Tuskegee gets a little bit of momentum back with a great return, great blocking. Anytime you get a big return, everybody was doing their blocking. You see nobody around until the returner picks up big yards. But this is how you get your offense, the momentum back. Right there, I believe the momentum has shifted back on that return to Tuskegee.
DeRamus along with Justice Owens and Taryn Taylor in the backfield. Trying to get the plays in from Coach Willie Slater.
Does he have all his plays in his head?
Must be. Taylor with some room to run. Taylor inside the 30. They throw a flag. Looks like he stepped out of bounds, but Taryn Taylor showing just a true freshman why coach is so high on him, because he's a guy, you give him an inch, he's going to take a yard and a yard and a yard more.
Yeah, Taylor, great run. And the reason why I said this Coach Slater had the plays in his head, plays like that is what he called, not a clipboard in his hand.
Illegal in the back. Offense, number 4. Take a penalty. First down.
So an illegal push in the back. And Coach Slater, similar to Paul Johnson at Georgia Tech, they don't have a playbook. They just call it off the cuff.
Yeah, they call it off the cuff. They called a great play right here. Wide open. But it's all for naught. It comes back, steps out of bounds right there, but again, it's all for naught. Play a penalty on the play.
Always stoic, but always trying to focus in on how he can tweak this offense. Taylor, once again, has a huge hole. Another flag is thrown, and this time it may be a hold.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a hold.
Offense, number 74. First down.
And that's on Martez Patterson, one of the reserve tackles for Tuskegee.
Anytime you get penetration by the defense, I believe as an offensive lineman, you're always taught, do not let the defensive guy have an open season tackle on any of your offensive guys. So take the hold, just like we would do in the secondary. You get beat,
take the pass interference.
Take the pass interference. Don't give up the big play.
First and forever. Taylor once again finding holes, but this time that hole is quickly wrapped up.
You know, Tuskegee is one of those teams that they like to run between the tackles, and it's been proven today with Owens and Taylor here. The running back system for Tuskegee is always good, but these guys are showing that they are a well-rounded team, just like Morehouse. They can pound it and they can throw it as well, but more running today.
Less than 3 minutes left to go in the first half. We're all tied up at 10. James Verrett along with Tyrone Poole here at the 83rd Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic in historic Columbus, Georgia, and looks like we have a timeout. Tuskegee trying to get the play call right because they want to try to go in and get an extra touchdown going into the first half. If you're Willie Slater right now, do you continue to run the ball with less than 3 minutes, or do you try to spread it out a little bit?
With two minutes left in the game, you know, you got your timeouts. These guys should basically have any type of play call that they want to choose from.
And you see now the coach is trying to coach up the player Martez Patterson, who got called for that hold. In today's world now, coaches have to coach up players a little differently than what they used to do years ago, right?
Well, I still think, you know, you want to give them pointers, but hey, these guys are, the reason why they're starting is because the coach believes in their ability and they know the system. So, like you say, you probably just remind them of certain aspects of the blocking scheme or their abilities, and, you know, they can't commit penalties like that.
2nd and 15. And this time, the timeout works in favor of the Maroon Tigers. Huge play there by Antonio Johnson, able to come in for the tackle.
Yeah, Antonio Johnson, that was a great rush by him on the outside. He comes out, gets the running back, falls down, but his speed and quickness was the difference maker in that particular play. And that is what Morehouse needed to put some pressure on the quarterback in a particular passing situation. So great job.
Second sack of the afternoon for Antonio Johnson, one of the leaders of this Maroon Tiger defense, which makes it 3rd and 23 for the Golden Tigers. Looks like that could have possibly been a shuttle pass. They do say it is a forward pass, incomplete. But once again, Antonio Johnson there saying, not today, Doremus.
Yeah, Antonio Johnson again. When you have a defensive end, when you have people that can cover, you create havoc for any type of offense. And right there, Johnson is in the backfield again for Tuskegee.
And, you know, right now we see some guys showing emotion, but Tyrone, you had a little emotional encounter. They call it acting. You tap into it, and let's see what you did out there on the stage in Marietta, Georgia this past week.
Let's take a look.
They got you more brainwashing I ever dreamed. Get this in your head, Alex.
That's a football
I don't give a damn what you think about me or my music, okay? Fine, brother. Fine. Brother.
Very nice.
From the field to the stage.
Very nice. Now, I'm just going to let you know, I'm not going to hit you in the head like that.
Hey, I'm trying to connect with Julian so he and I can work on some things.
Very good. Now, what was the name of that play?
It was called the Bow Wow Club. Bow Wow Club. It was produced by Levy Lee, great writer. So Julian Turner, you know, he's trying to do the same thing. So acting is, you know, very, very inspirational. I liked it, and I see why Julian Turner wants to get into that business, and I see why he's trying to get with, you know, Tyler Perry and all these things, because you can really have such a great impact and bring stories to life on the stage.
And Julian Turner, number 44, linebacker for Morehouse. He had an internship with Tyler Perry this past year. Missed this game last year, but able to make it this year. Now it's up to Morehouse's offense to put on a great show to end the first half and try to break this tie. Michael Sims able to scamper enough for a first down, and there is a player down for Tuskegee down at the 10, or make it inside the 10.
Yeah, this is the part of the game that no one likes to see. Guys get injured, and with him moving back and forth like that, you got to think he's in some type of pain.
And looks like the man down is Callie James, defensive lineman from Stockbridge, Georgia.
And for it to be a defensive lineman, you know, that's even tougher, because this is one of the mainstay, the foundation of a defense is the defensive lineman. So, but in this game, it's called the next man up. Just like the Rimmers, he had to step up. Next man up for Tuskegee.
And let's see what happens to Mr. James.
Comes up. Doesn't really quite see on that angle what happened. But at the same time, a guy like that, a young guy, promising guy, you want to make sure that he's okay. Look like it's a arm type of injury. But the way you're looking at his mouth is open and he's moving back and forth again. I've been there before. When you have that type of movement, something is really bothering you.
And 5'11", 275, more like a tree stump from Stockbridge, Georgia. They do have a lot of tree stumps out there. And he's walking off the field. Now, you know, more recently in the vast world of college football, they've had some people accusing other teams of acting saying that they're faking injuries to try to get an extra timeout.
No, that guy there, he was hurt. There's certain types of movement as a football player that when you make it and you grin and that you can tell you're in pain. But it's good to see him walk off the field.
Second and short. 1:47 left to play in the half. Sims getting some pressure off the backside, able to find Knuckles. Knuckles able to get the first down quickly out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:41.
Again, great concept by Morehouse. You see they got people downfield. They're trying to get deep throws, but also at the same time, if the deep throw is not there, they have a short guy to dump it off to. And Sim dumps it off right there to Knuckles, gets positive yards, first down, and gets out of bounds.
Little movement along the line, no flag. Sims will keep it and get out of bounds.
Sim using his legs on that particular play. They know they're going against the clock, 1:36 left in the game. If it's not there, take off, get positive yards. Again, great reaction by Sims. Great game management by Sims.
Started off as a walk-on for Morehouse. Fought for playing time last year, and this year he has taken over the starting spot. And as Coach Freeman said, they could not deny him last year, and now it's his spot to take over, and he's done well to lead this offense. And it looks like we've got some movement, which will push him back 5.
All start. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Now, the one thing about Morehouse, yeah, they got a penalty on that particular play, but the whole game, they have been very protective of Sims and opening up big holes for the running game for Bailey and Dunn. So, yes, that penalty hurts in this part of the game, but they've done a great job so far.
Sims getting some pressure, and Leatherwood right there to bring him down. The first sack of the afternoon for Terrence Leatherwood.
Yeah, Leatherwood. Speaking of the offense, just when I gave them credit, they gave up a sack. But they've done a great job. And Leatherwood's a heck of a player himself, so it doesn't matter what type of offensive line you have. This guy here, he is a motor that drives this Tuskegee defense.
Leatherwood, along with Devonta Ramseur, according to Coach Willie Slater, they paved the way for defensive preseason player of the year, DeVoris Thomas, because they clear out, they cover up all the gaps so those linebackers can go in and make easy plays.
Yeah, DeVoris Thomas, he has 3 tackles today. Stewart, 4 tackles. Gray leading everybody with 7 tackles, number 60. So these guys on this Tuskegee defense, they know how to play team ball and everybody gets involved. Take a look at Julian Turner right there. The future Tyler Perry.
Well, not only that, he has a musical acumen that later on in the show we'll show you how this young man got some national notoriety, not only for his school, but for himself. 3rd and long. Sims with time, slings it underneath, goes behind Reese Knuckles. Looks like that one wasn't a pass that he wanted to deliver that way.
Yeah, from the very snap of the ball, you can tell that it was going to be an off type of play. He had to regather himself, get his feet back up under him, and that particular time he couldn't get his feet up under him, which he delivered an errant pass. Knuckles was wide open, would have been a first down, but the ball was thrown behind him. Now Morehouse is punting the ball.
Andrade on to punt for Morehouse. Petway back deep for Tuskegee. And Petway will call fair catch right near midfield. .107 left to play here in the first half. Special teams player of the week, Jordy Andrade, averaging a little bit under 40 yards a punt, but the key there for the defense, 3 punts inside the 20. That means he has a foot that has a good direction. He knows how to punt it and get it out of bounds.
Oh, I just can't get over that 38. Jody, Andre, you're wearing the right number. That's why he got Player of the Week. There's something about that 38.
I think I know your lottery number, at least one.
Hey, at least one of them. I'm going to play 38 in there some kind of way.
1:06 left to play. Tuskegee looking to break this 10-all tie. Doremus looking for a receiver and able to make an acrobatic reception is looks like Stephen Hodges right there to make the play.
You know, I want to see what type of offense that Tuskegee was going to try to come with under 1 minute remaining in the game. Usually this is where you see the 2-minute offense. They got one timeout, get the ball out of the quarterback's hand fast. All their routes are going to be probably towards the end zone, but because they had that one timeout, they do have the luxury with that one timeout to throw the ball in the middle of the field. So I would be surprised if Tuskegee comes back with some type of seam play to try to get a great run, a great play down the center of the field.
49 seconds left to go in the half, all tied up at 10. And just a reminder, at halftime, we will see the 2 bands that are here to entertain us. For Tuskegee, it is the Crimson Piper Band, and for Morehouse, it is the House of Funk. I always like to say that, the House of Funk. I just feel funky when I say the House of Funk.
Yeah, it's just like what's the old song, Brick House.
Brick House. There you go.
There's certain words.
But now see, you have connected the 2 schools. It was the Commodores who made Brick House. All of those members were members of the Tuskegee Crimson Piper Marching Band. That's how they met.
Wow.
There you go.
You learn something new every day.
49 seconds left, 1st and 10 for Tuskegee. Getting some pressure, and Cheatham is right there on looks like an errant pass. Turns a negative into a positive. Javaris Cheatham, it looked like Doremus just threw it up for grabs.
Yeah, looked like, but because of the situation, Doremus again, pressure being put on by Morehouse, he throws off his back leg, which allows the ball to hang up in the air. Luckily for Tuskegee, Cheatham was the only guy in that area, catches the ball, gets upfield, gets out of bounds. Still, Tuskegee has one timeout and in great position to actually throw the ball with 41 seconds. They can throw a pass over the middle. So again, it puts pressure on Morehouse's defense to defend the whole field.
2nd and short, less than a minute to play. And pressure, and looks like he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, but good pressure there provided by the defense of Morehouse.
Yeah, it looked like Morehouse came with a blitz there.
Looks like timeout call.
This is the time when you see a lot of blitzing situations like this. Not only is the offense trying to hurry up, but the defense is actually blitzing.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I've never seen somebody bring their fan and their umbrella and their hat. He is the coolest guy in A.J. McClung Stadium today. You know, that's that power of the LEDs and things of that nature. He's got like an electric portable fan. That's a big fan.
That's a big fan, but you know what it's doing? It's circulating heat. There's a fan, but it's circulating heat.
I'm just trying to figure out, how did he get that through security? What did he say? That's for my health?
You know what? That's a good question.
Third down and short. Throwing it long, and interception by Morehouse to end the drive for Tuskegee.
That is what you do not want to do, but again, great play.
Kelvin Murray on the interception for the Maroon Tigers.
Morehouse just sitting back in a base defense and looking at the quarterback, Ramus, again trying to go deep. Tuskegee sitting back in his zone defense, easy turnover, interception. Morehouse stops a Tuskegee drive, which I thought Tuskegee would have managed that particular drive a little bit better. But Ramus got to go back. Evidently, somebody didn't run the right route. He's upset. But you got to manage the game a little bit better. Take what the defense gives you. You still had enough time on the clock. You have a timeout. I'm pretty sure what the coaches are telling him. Just calm down. You got a second half to play.
Victory formation for Sims. As we have less than 20, it looks like that may be the last play of the first half as both teams start to make their way toward the locker room. You see Ahmad Duramus, he is trying to work this situation out. That's what you want to see from a young quarterback who's been thrust into the starting role. He's not passive. He wants to score. He wants to see his team win, and he wants to see exactly what was wrong made right. And the turnover chain for the Maroon Tigers is there for Kelvin Murray, because right now it's all tied up at 10. Justice Owens and company, Thomas and Dunn. Everybody's trying to get
is back October 17th, presented by State Farm.
We're all tied up at 10 here at the 83rd Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic as clouds come in to try to cool off what has been a red-hot football game. But if you only have to go back to last season, in which this game went all the way down into overtime, in which it took all the way of overtime in order for the winning team to get the victory. Morehouse had the lead for 4 quarters and part of overtime, but that interception by Tuskegee led to this long run to get them an inch away from the score, and then they would punch it in from 1 yard out and win in overtime to continue their win streak against their rival Morehouse, 23-17. And that was last year, and for Morehouse, they're trying to get over the hump. As you see right now, the Tuskegee Crimson Piper Marching Band is performing. Let's listen in. Wonderful performance by the Tuskegee Crimson Piper Marching Band. We're all tied up at 10. When we come back, more halftime right here on Welcome back to the 83rd Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic here in Columbus, Georgia. All tied up at 10 at halftime. The starting linebacker for Morehouse College, Julian Turner, just a junior, missed this game last year. We're all tied up at 10 here at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium. And yes, the cells are still alive here. When we come back, we'll see which cells lead. welcome back to A.J. McClung Stadium here in Columbus, Georgia. All tied up at 10 at the 83rd Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic. On the field now, the always entertaining Morehouse, the House of Funk. Listen in. Another spectacular performance by the Morehouse House of Funk. When we come back, more halftime festivities right here on ESPN. Halftime score. Halftime here at A.J. McClung Stadium for the 83rd Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic, all tied up at 10. James Beretta along with Tyrone Poole. Tyrone, we have seen both defenses step up big, but offensively, everybody's trying to get on track.
Yeah, we've seen the defenses for both teams step up big, but what we have seen that is untraditional for Tuskegee, they have more running yards than they do passing yards. And for Morehouse, penalties have been their Achilles heel in this game today.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights. This was a game in which field goals took over early on, but then it would be finally Justice Owens with a nice 2-yard plunge to get the first touchdown of the day. It was Tuskegee that had a chance at a 37-yarder, but no, it was made in not good, and then it was Santo Dunn. Santo Dunn goes 42 yards to get the first touchdown of the afternoon for Morehouse, which tied it up at 10. It was Tuskegee with an opportunity to take the lead, but an interception late by Kelvin Murray ices the drive. And as you see the stats, everything's almost even except for those penalties, a lot of them defensive penalties for Morehouse.
Again, Morehouse, they have to overcome those penalties. And when they get in the situation where they can take advantage of opportunities to score, they must do that. Tuskegee, on their side, continue to run the ball, but involve their rich history of throwing the ball. Get the ball to Cheatham, let him make plays, and see what their offense can do. The defense has been playing very good. Leatherwood, DeRamus, those guys on that side of the ball have been holding up on their end. Let's see if they can continue to do it with the second half. Tuskegee offense is going to have the first opportunity to get that momentum going as they return the kick.
Tuskegee won the toss, deferred, so they will have the ball to start the second half. Ladario Petway, who had a couple of nice returns, they're going to kick it short, and Tuskegee will call it dead at about the 38-yard line. That's where the Golden Tiger offense will take over off that sky kick, the kick away from Petway, because they didn't want him for a long return.
A little pooch kick, as they call it.
Yeah, they call it pooch. And we see the quarterback for the Golden Tigers, Ahmad DeRamus, got sacked a few times and had that late interception. But other than that, this is uncharacteristic of a Willie Slater team when you see 4 for 10 and only 69 yards passing.
Again, we must remember, like we talked about earlier, DeRamus is stepping in. He hasn't had the full opportunity to run this offense.
This time give to Taylor, and Taylor able to find a few holes that looked like they weren't there and get some positive yards. Refuses to go down, just stonewalled after about a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, Taylor, we've seen him on a couple of runs where this guy, he gets the ball into his hands. He's explosive, going up to the offensive line, and he's just a wonder to watch. And every time he touches the ball, you never know what he's going to do.
Just a freshman is Taron Taylor, along with Kenny Gant, Phillip Brown, and Avante Patterson. Freshmen dominate that backfield, along with junior Ahmad DeRamus. A lot of underclassmen trying to lead the way for the Golden Tigers. And now you see another one right there doing big things. Taron Taylor this time goes into Morehouse territory for a 1st and more.
Yes, Taron Taylor. If you want to see a burst, you want to see speed, watch this run here. The guy, defensive guy, thought he had it, but just that ability to burst and gain speed, ran out of the grasp of the defensive guy, picks up very great positive yards. 1st down for Tuskegee. And it's always interesting to see how teams make adjustments after halftime. So it's going to be interesting to see what Tuskegee adjustments they have made and what adjustments Morehouse has made as well.
From the 35, quick third and catch to Hodges, and Stephen Hodges able to get enough for the 1st down, looking for more, but stumbled out of bounds.
Yeah, Hodges, anytime you see the offensive guy hit the ground, pounding his hands together, he know he should have gotten more. So we'll take a look at it here again. DeRamus, get the ball out your hand, great throw, hitting the receiver in stride. A little bit of leg connection there, tripped him up. But great release by the quarterback, get the ball out of his hands, get it into his playmakers, and let him get that yak, run, yards after the catch.
2 consecutive 1st downs for the Golden Tigers inside the 25. Keeper by DeRamus, and it does a smart thing and slides down right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't think they fooled nobody on that particular play right there.
And DeRamus is trying to figure out, was it me, was it you, who was it?
I know. Didn't get nothing on that play. But again, it's all about AQ. And when I say AQ, it's about adjustability quotient. You have intelligent quotient. Of course, they're going to make the intelligent adjustments. They're going to make the emotional adjustments throughout the game. But the AQ, the adjustments, offensively and defensively.
Flare out to Taylor. Sees a bunch of black shirts and is quickly wrapped up. Leading the way, Keith Anderson there on the tackle. Good open field tackle by Anderson.
Again, if you want to stop a swing pass, this is what that is. You see Taylor, he swings out, DeRamus throws it to him, but you got a guy containing, makes him turn it back in to his help. That's how you stop a swing pass.
Another defensive penalty against Morehouse. And that pushes the Golden Tigers closer to the end zone of Morehouse.
MEs, that's what we call penalties. ME, they are mental errors. When you do something, you get tired, you start to hold, or you start to grab, or you jump off sides. Those are what we call MEs, mental errors. And right now, Morehouse has a ton of mental errors, penalties that will last them for the next 2 games. They are really hurting themselves with penalties and little bitty things to give Morehouse an opportunity to get unnecessary yards through penalties.
Looks like right now the officials are trying to make sure that they have the spot right on the ball to see if it's an automatic 1st down or if it's just half the distance.
can't give a team like Tuskegee an opportunity to get inside your red zone because they will convert. Willis Slater, this offense, they are very productive, and it won't take long before they get into that end zone again, especially when you got players like Owens and Cheatham on the outside.
1st and 10 from the 12. Running the option, and this time they snuffed it out rather quickly. William Calloway, number 19, right there on the tackle.
Hey, if you're going to stop them, if you just hurt yourself, you try to get that momentum back, you do what Callaway and the rest of this Morehouse defense does. Get at the quarterback, get on the ball. Look at those black shirts around the ball. That's how you get yourself out of a hole that you put yourself in by making plays like that.
Pushes them back to about the 17-yard line. 2nd down and 15. Getting some more pressure, takes a lick, and is knocked out. And that was Julian Turner, the young man that we talked about had the biology work that turned into a dynamo for him. Good blitz.
This is where most of the time you're going to get a lot of blitzing whenever the offense gets down close to the red zone, end zone. Right here, we see the linebacker coming up through the blitz wide open, forces the quarterback to get rid of the ball before he's ready to throw it. And actually, that's our guy, Julian Turner, right there. So he drew that play up just like he did that video to perfection.
Now, I don't want to see you dropping your card over there saying, I want to be in your next production.
Hey, it's all about connection these days.
3rd down and 15 from the 17-yard line. DeRamus. Catch made and close to a 1st down. Stephen Hodges has come in and been the hot receiver of late. Depending on the spot, they can get a first without scoring.
Tuskegee has gone to this play over and over and over. We've seen this in previous snaps by Tuskegee. The flats are wide open. This time, Morehouse is in a particular man-to-man coverage, but still the linebacker, the actual defensive guy is not quick enough to cover, and Tuskegee gets positive yards.
4th down. Give to Owens, and Owens is like automatic in for his 2nd score of the afternoon. Justice Owens.
Well, you know, they say that 4th down, I read a report that says that one guy did a study that all teams should go for it on 4th down instead of kicking or punting. So it seems like on this particular play, he's calling it right. Tuskegee goes for it on 4th down, gives it to Justice Owens. He uses his vision, uses his power, keeps his feet moving in the end zone again. That's the 2nd time they've gone for it on 4th down. They are 2 for 2. Justice Owens is 2 for 2 for touchdowns.
Point after attempt is good. And with 10:35 left to play in the 3rd, Justice Owens seems like it was a carbon copy of what he did in the 1st half, but this time he goes in almost untouched for his 2nd touchdown.
Nice catch, my man.
That's going to be on SportsCenter.
Tuskegee band is playing because their team has jumped out to a 17-10 lead. First score of the 3rd quarter, and it was a 2-yard run by Justice Owens, and now Morehouse trying to answer. Reese Knuckles on the return. Knuckles on the outside, breaks one tackle, gets out to about the 45-yard line. Reese Knuckles with a good return to try to change this momentum. And for Tuskegee, it was a pass that really propelled them into that short touchdown run, Tyrone.
Yeah, anytime you're going to score, you're definitely going to have a big play involved in that particular drive. And here we see they've gone to this play, throwing it to the flat several times. And again, Slater slots. He gambles again, pulls the lever, gives it to Justice Owens, who, again, pinball, ringing, touchdown again. So Coach Slater slots. That's what I'm going to start calling him. Because he's gambling a whole lot today on 4th down, and it's paying off.
Santo Dunn trying to find some room to run. Already has a 42-yard touchdown run. This one not as long. Terrence Leatherwood there on the tackle, but enough to get positive yards close to midfield after a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, again, Dunn and all the other guys, Bailey, we're going to see him. Sims, he continues to guide this offense, but Dunn is the guy that they try to get this offense moving and get the ball in his hands, and he's doing a great job so far.
Smith in motion on the far side. Option, looks like it was a broken play because it was the defense for Tuskegee that snuffed that one out immediately, and we're going to have a little pushing and shoving going on. But they were right there to quickly attack that one. Darryl Horn really snuffed it out.
Yeah, this was a busted play from Jump Street. Basically, you got upfield pressure by the defensive end. You got the quarterback taken care of. Play did not develop. No way was Morehouse going to get any types of positive yards on that play.
3rd down and long. Sims with time. Oh, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Vanover Jr. Oh, that's not good.
No, the Vanover Jr., I don't expect him to drop passes like that. Again, his dad played wide receiver, so great throw, great touch, good spiral. That was supposed to be a catch of 1st down for Morehouse. But it's a drop pass by Vanover. I'm pretty sure his dad is looking at him saying, come on, son, you got to catch that one.
Now, years ago, those coaches would say, take off those gloves. You dropped them.
or put some more stick-em on. You still can't do that.
Morehouse. Hyundai, that looks like it was tipped. Looks like it was tipped. And they were able to down the ball, but good defensive play by Tuskegee to get the tip on Jordy Andrade. And as we go to break, we'll see, was it a bad punt or was it a block?
Great tip there.
Looks like it was just a...
I don't know how Vaughn does it.
Call him the reluctant fullback, but Justin Owens has had the hot hand. 3 carries, 49 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Golden Tigers. DeRamus trying to find him. Owens again, wide open. Gets enough of the 1st down and more. The reason why we call him reluctant, when he came to Tuskegee as a transfer from Jacksonville State, he wanted to play running back, but coach said if you want to get on the field, play fullback. He's a fullback with a running back's mentality, and it shows right there on that catch.
Yeah, again, he sneaks out of the backfield. Usually that guy who sneaks out the backfield, he checks to make sure that there are no blocking responsibilities, and then he squeezes between the rush of the defensive lineman and the blocking of the offensive lineman and sneaks into the flats, and DeRamus finds him for a pickup.
Movement along the line. And it looks like it may have been a Tuskegee offensive line.
Offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Mr. Patterson, I think that was his 2nd one of the afternoon. Do you think fatigue starts to set in with those offensive linemen when you get to that 2nd half?
No, I think defensively, if I would say where the fatigue falls, it falls on the defensive side because these guys have to play and react. You play with more energy on defense. Offense, you know what you're doing. It's kind of more of a controlled, breathing type of effect. So I don't think these guys on offense gets as tired as those guys on defense.
1st down and 15. DeRamus getting some pressure, trying to find a receiver. Looks like a little pull and tug. And there's the flag that comes in. Peyton Ramsey was the intended receiver, and Dedrick Vanover.
Well, this is the problem that I have. It's the official who throws the flag. You don't see the back judge throw the flag. He doesn't throw the flag. The flag comes in from the side guy. So let him play football.
It's legal.
No infraction.
Okay,
so
there you
made a call. You made a call.
Yes. Just let the guy who's supposed to throw the flag throw the flag. If that's not your area, look for the other guy. Let him have control of that area. But that's the back judge's call. If he doesn't call it, then there's no penalty.
You just made a call. You picked up the phone and made a call on that.
Yes, they heard me screaming from the press box.
Second down and long for the Golden Tigers. DeRamus finds a couple of holes, eludes one tackler, but steps out of bounds, but not before he gets enough for the first down and more down to the 26.
Now this is unacceptable. If I'm a Morehouse defensive player or coach, you do not give up big plays like this. If you want to lose games, big plays and penalties will hurt you. So far, Morehouse has been hurting themselves with penalties and big plays today, giving up big plays like that and just penalties throughout the game. It's not their effort, it's their ME again, mental errors that are really hurting Morehouse and their team today.
Well, those MEs have propelled the Golden Tigers inside the 30. And now Kenny Gant, we haven't called his name a lot. Yes, he is the son of the former Dallas Cowboy and Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Kenny Gant. And he's down, but making that play was Julian Turner.
Yeah, Julian Turner trying to put Gant on his video highlight. So maybe he's going to come out with another biology video with Gant on it, showing him how.
His table's full. He's trying to get that work done for Sesame Street. So my little girls and son, they'll say, yeah, I learned about this. I'm like, yeah, I know that guy.
I learned how to tackle too and blitz the gap as a linebacker video.
DeRamus, and he throws a bullet and no one's there. Good defensive play there by Vanover on the coverage.
That's great coverage. Morehouse in man-to-man, nowhere for the quarterback to throw the ball. He throws a bullet, but he throws an incomplete bullet. So great coverage by Morehouse, manning up Tuskegee's defense. And again, it's all about making adjustments, okay? Morehouse didn't play as much man-to-man in the first half. So it's always about the AQ, adjustability quotient. But as long as Morehouse continues to shoot themselves in the foot with penalties and big plays, all that goes for naught.
Third down. Blitz coming. He eludes one man, but not the other. Once again, Julian Turner and company able to find Ahmad DeRamus for their third sack of the afternoon.
And this is what blitzing can do for you when you have the coverage on the back end. The quarterback has to hold the ball a little bit longer. You see coming off the end untouched. Owens actually misses his blocking assignment there and allows the quarterback to be sacked. But great coverage by Morehouse on the back end to force Tuskegee into a punting situation.
Frustrated, DeRamus sits on the bench as Hall is on to do the punting duties for Tuskegee. Hall with an end over end, and it takes a Tuskegee bounce and down inside the 5 at the 3. When we come back, we'll see if that Morehouse offense can find its fire as they trail by 7 right here on ESPN.
So bring on Monday. Because Mondays are made for Monday Night Football. Redskins Saints, Monday at 8:15 on ESPN.
One of the many attractions that you can take part in along the Chattahoochee here in Columbus, Georgia, is the zip line. You go from the state of Alabama to the state of Georgia across all of that water. I know, Tyrone. You'll do that.
I could do that.
You'll do. No, I'm not doing that these days.
I could do it going sideways, but going vertical, going down, I don't think I could do that.
First down for Morehouse, and they go down rather quickly. Remember, they're starting from their own 3-yard line. It's Frank Bailey Jr., so they're working themselves out of a hole.
Yeah, and that zip line, like I said, it goes sideways. I can go sideways.
Okay.
But it's only when you go from like a vertical situation going
jumping,
down.
The bungee jumping.
I don't think I could do that one there. It's a different type of feeling going sideways than it is going down.
You see Rich Freeman right here. He is undefeated, but right now he is trying to get his second victory in his tenure against Tuskegee, and Tuskegee is the bend but don't break team. They have only lost once to a Rich Freeman Morehouse squad. And right now that defense is stepping up big. Another play by their defense stepping up to get a tackle on this Morehouse offense. Number 14, Trey Story on the tackle. Ricky Norris on the tackle. You see Morehouse, they eked out a win against Arkansas Pine Bluff. That was a goal line stand. Against Lane and Central State, they were able to get a resounding victory. Miles, it was a Hail Mary touchdown pass reception that catapulted them, and then they had to come from behind against Kentucky State. So this is a 5-0 team, but are the Maroon Tigers strong, or are they paper Tigers? We're going to find out here in the next quarter and a half.
Yeah, you know, some teams, they may be 5-0 on the paper, but as you look at the
timeout, Morehouse College. That is their first timeout of the half.
As you look at the film, they're not really a good team.
When we come back, we'll see what Rich Freeman and his staff can do.
2 down, bases loaded.
Nice catch, my man.
That's going to be on Sports Center.
Golden Tigers of Tuskegee with a 17-10 lead here at the 83rd Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic. It's 3rd and 11 for Morehouse, trying to throw out of the backfield, but that pass is low. Incomplete.
Yeah, again, the play selection by the offensive coordinator for Morehouse, I'm going to have to second guess some of those calls. You know, you're in a situation like that, you have done a great job with your concept of spreading the ball around, forcing Tuskegee to defend the whole field, and particularly let Sims pick and choose the gaps. And again, they put themselves in a situation where they're giving Tuskegee, depending on this return, a short side of the field.
Punt for Jordy Andrade, the reigning special teams player of the week for the SIAC, but he's got his work cut out at the back. His heels are at the back of the end zone. He gets it away, and it will take a positive bounce and go beyond 50 yards on that punt and take a Morehouse bounce dead at the 41 of Tuskegee. Good punt by Jordy Andrade, the reigning SIAC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Now, that's the one that's going to look very good in his punting stats as far as getting that extra roll. It rolled about 20 more yards, so it's going to boost up his average.
So now it's up to the Tuskegee offense. Can they add to their 7-point lead with 3:50 left in the third quarter? Coach Slater has been able to motivate his team in order to get this lead, but not without getting his quarterback some bumps and bruises along the way. He's been sacked quite a few times in this game, but for Coach Slater, he's trying to keep that unblemished record in the last 5 years in this game. Doremus on the keeper, and he may have gained 1, possibly 2 yards on that play.
Again, we've seen this play run by Tuskegee, the fake, the dive, and Doremus keeps the ball trying to get around the edge, but Morehouse's defense has been on point every time they run that play. So that's the downside of having a guy who has not had the opportunity to work the full season with the offense. He's limited in some of the concepts that Tuskegee likes to run, but Doremus is holding his own right now.
Getting some pressure on the backside, incomplete, intended for Stephen Hodges.
Again, the quarterback feels the pressure, has to maneuver, gets outside the pocket just a little bit, throws an errant pass. But again, Doremus has to continue to do the things needed. Finding the opening guy, Hodges, throwing the ball to Hodges, the little to the sideline flat route that has been wide open for them today, Tuskegee. This is what Doremus has to go back to and find that open guy, get it to the guy, let him just run the ball, use their athletic ability.
Third down. Doremus on the keeper, has enough for the first and quickly goes out of bounds beyond midfield into Morehouse territory.
Yeah, Doremus using a little bit of his feet there to actually get some positive yards. Nothing there. This looks like a designed play. Run, get as much as you can, get out of bounds. Don't take any unnecessary hits.
Clock is ticking. Slowing the offense up a little bit is Tuskegee. They're very methodical in how they approach it. They will go into the huddle and they will go under center, even though most of the time they're in shotgun. Doremus with a long pass to Hodges over the defender. Nice spin move, but he steps out of bounds, but not before he gets a 16-yard gain for another first down for the Golden Tigers.
Yeah, good play call by Tuskegee here. Two verticals on the outside. Defensive guy couldn't quite read the trajectory of the ball. He thought it was coming to the inside guy, actually going to the outside guy, which was Hodges. Defensive guy misreads it. Tuskegee catches the ball, positive yards, on the move again, down the field, into Morehouse's territory.
This offense is just grinding away at the Maroon Tiger defense. That defense needs to make a big play if they want to stop the momentum. And handoff for positive yards are the Golden Tigers. Marquez Burnett, his first carry of the afternoon.
Yeah, this is sometimes what happened when you asked that question earlier about the offensive linemen getting tired. This is actually when offensive linemen, their energy level and their conditioning level outdoes that of the defensive line. So this is a time during the game where you run directly at the teeth of that defensive line. Those interior guys are tired defensively.
Second. Trying to run the option, gives to Burnett. Flag is thrown, but Burnett able to get around the end, close to another first down, but there is a flag at the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
All those positive yards go back. Cameron Smith on the hold.
You know, yes, that was a penalty on that play, but what I liked about that play by Tuskegee, they are mixing it up. You'll see them run up the middle, and then they'll try to get the ball on the edge. What that does, it takes a lot of energy out of the defense just to be able to use power to stop the head-on drive, but they got to use energy to go from sideline to sideline. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Morehouse give up some type of big play on this drive.
2nd and 16, getting a lot of pressure is Doremus. He eludes 3 defenders, throws it across his body, and finds a receiver, but incomplete. Oh, that was so close.
Yeah, so close, so close.
Chardon Johnson, the intended receiver.
Again, what plays the role into this? You see the ball coming, but the quarterback was on the move. So sometimes when the quarterback is on the move, he throws a ball. It leads the receiver a little too far towards the sideline on that particular play there. The receiver's trying to catch the ball, but at the same time, his mind is telling him to keep his feet in bounds. So you got two things going there. Keep focus on the ball, catch it, and try to keep your feet in play. And he just couldn't do both.
I just feel for Doremus because that was a great play to elude the defenders, throw it on the money, but it's still incomplete.
They say a long foul ball.
3rd down and long. Screen pass to Burnett. Burnett able to get some positive yards, but not enough. Close to the original line of scrimmage, which will bring up a 4th down situation.
Now that was about to be a big play. Screen plays are basically whenever you see a defensive guy.
End of the 3rd quarter. We'll continue that conversation when we come back from the break. It is 17-10 at the end of the 3rd quarter. It's Justice Owens who has led the way for the Golden Tigers as they try to win another Tuskegee. Indication that this game is big is by the amount of tents that have smoke coming out of them for the post-game celebration or bragging rights. A lot of people getting prepared for the after-game dinner that will be taking place. Tuskegee's team able to make a stop, which brings up a 4th down. Vanover on the coverage. And taking over on downs will be Morehouse.
Now this is where Morehouse has to go down and try to create something with this momentum that they have right now. They need to try to go down and get some points out of this drive.
Santo Dunn able to get 1, possibly 2.
Now this Tuskegee defense, they're not just going to let you just drive the ball down the field. You're going to have to do some trickery. You're going to have to mix it up to get them off balance. And right now, Morehouse has been one-sided as far as their game plan against this defense going into the second half.
Sims finds Vanover Jr. for positive yards, just maybe 1 yard short of the first.
And this is what you need as Morehouse's offense goes down this field. You need to make the ball 3rd and short. Again, they have the option. You have the flare pass. This time, Sims throws it to the flare, which was run by Vanover. He picks up positive yards, makes it a short 3rd and 1, manageable 3rd and 1 play call for the offensive coordinator for Morehouse. And this is what you want as an offensive coordinator. Now they can pull from any play call in their book because it's 3rd and short.
They give it a positive spot to move it to first down. Once again, another flare pass. This time to Amir Smith, and he's close to another first down. The offense now starting to pick up that pace. When they're moving at a fast pace, that's when they're dipping.
And see, this is what I don't understand. Why does it take a scenario for you to actually start playing the way you should be playing the game? It's like they wait until some dire straits situation to happen before they speed up the offense. Speed up the offense at all times whenever you have the ball. I think that's the way to play. You don't sit back and wait. You go and attack.
Another flare, this time to Tremel Gooden, and Gooden able to muscle his way forward for a gain of 5. Harry Williams, second-year offensive coordinator. It seemed as though it was an adjustment period last year between head coach and offensive coordinator and the team, and now it seems as though his offense is starting to click. But as you said, pace. The pace needs to be faster. The offense for Morehouse, they can throw the ball and run the ball. They need to utilize Dunn, put him in motion, put him on one-on-one with the linebackers, and utilize Sims' ability to throw and run the ball. Sims tries to thread the needle, and this one falls short of its intended target.
Yeah, great concept again. I think on this particular route here, the receiver didn't run the ball his route as flat. And Sims tries to lead him, almost gets it in there. Again, incomplete pass. But Sims, he has been doing a great job whenever he's been asked to throw the ball by Williams, the offensive coordinator for Morehouse.
3rd down. Inside run by Dunn, able to get a first down, and looks like he just slid through the arms of defenders that were playing on that defensive front.
Yeah, again, Dunn's not that big, but what Morehouse does that you don't see, they spread the defense. Now this allows the offensive lineman to get one-on-one blocking, and it allows Dunn the ability to use his vision to find a hole and pick up a first down just like he did.
Pitch out to Dunn, and he uses his cutback and spin ability to turn a negative into at least a 1-yard positive.
You know, typically on plays like this, that was a 4-strong type of formation here. They already had 3 receivers to the right side of the offense, and then they try to toss the ball, which brings the running back over there to the 3-receiver side, which creates a 4-strong. So what the defense is going to do, they're going to make an adjustment. They're going to call their strength to the 3-receiver side, which makes it hard for the offense to run the ball. In that particular play, you would think the offense would go to the weak side of the offensive, the defensive side when running the ball.
Pitch and catch to Gooden. Gooden trying to spin, but does not get out of the arms of the defender. Was able to bring him down before he gets a 2-yard gain. Leatherwood there along with Jamal Odom.
Yeah, screen plays, they're hustle plays. Defense has to get as many guys over there as they can. Terrence Leatherwood and Tuskegee defense does a good job of hustling over and limiting that particular screen play for yardage.
Nice pitch and catch. Turns for positive yards for Amir Smith, enough for a first down. This drive continues on.
Yep, continue to drive on. But what I want you to take a notice is the cornerback. The cornerback comes inside of the play. He comes inside the play. Number 7 comes inside the play, allows the receiver to get to the outside to pick up positive yards. So everybody has to play their particular role in the defense. So Hike has to stay on the outside to force the receiver to come inside. And that play, he came inside, which allowed the big play.
Another flare. Vanover Jr. staying positive on the yardage. And may it be 1 or 2 yards. They keep getting positive yards.
Yeah, we see in Tuskegee, they evidently have seen something from the press box that is allowing them to call a lot of receiver screen plays. And again, I like the screen play because it takes energy out of the defense. All 11 guys have to hustle over to the ball, and if you do it enough time, those guys are going to get very, very tired.
And he throws a bullet over to Dunn after faking it to him, and this time he may have gained 1, possibly 2 yards.
Yeah, that's a particular play they ran just a few plays ago in this drive, this current drive. It seems like a high-low concept, but Tuskegee had great coverage, so he had to dump it off to Dunn.
Defensive player down for Tuskegee. Looks like Leatherwood, who has been on the field for the majority of the time for the defense, looking at that left leg.
Yeah, again, you don't want to see guys injured. Leatherwood is such an important piece of this defense. He's the molars. If you're talking about the mouth, he's the molar. He's the guy that actually grinds up the run game, grinds up the quarterback when they try to pass the ball. So to lose him is like losing the molars in the back of your mouth. You can't chew your food. You can't be productive, huh?
So you're going to be a dentist in your next production?
I'm going to be a dentist, anything they offer me. Going from the field to the stage.
This drive started with 13:53 on the clock, and Morehouse has been able to nurse this down to 8:58. That defense has been on for a while. Leatherwood has played valiantly, and now he's walking off.
It's always good, like I've always said, to see these guys walk off the field, these young men. It means a lot to me, not only because I played the game for so long. I don't like to see injuries, but I know injuries happen in the game. It's just football. But to actually see them get up and walk off, so I know Coach Slater is happy to see Leatherwood walk off the field.
So far, Morehouse has connected on 4 first downs in this drive. Can they make it a 5th? Done. And looks like he's close to another one. Looks like their 5th first down of this drive, depending on where the spot is.
Again, the difference in this play, they did the very same thing. They loaded up the left side of the offense. This time they run to the weak side of the defense. So the defense is going to make their strength call based on the number of receivers. So the strength was called to the defensive right. The offense ran to the defensive left, and on that particular play, Santo cuts it back up and picks up positive yards.
N'Kobe Maxwell looks like he was leaving the field. And now 4th down and short. Terrence Leatherwood comes back onto the field for Tuskegee. Huge play here with 8:25 left to go as Morehouse trails by 7 inside the 20 of Tuskegee. Not a goal line stance, but still a big play. They give to their fullback, and looks like he was knocked sideways. Depending on where the spot is. Seldom used Trevion Baker on the carry. Spot will call it all.
Yeah, again here, Freeman, Coach Freeman, he is trying to pull, I guess, a slate of slots. He wanted to try to pull and roll the dice and see how his offense would do. But anytime you go for it on 4th down, that's, as a coach, that tells your offensive guys that you believe in them. So didn't look like they got it.
Short by looks like a full yard, and you see the defense for Tuskegee celebrating. Ooh, it looked like it was going to be first down, but that chain.
Again, you see Morehouse go for it on 4th down. The running back goes east-west. That's what you want to do on a 4th and short. You don't want the running back to go north and south. You want the running back to go east-west. And if he can go east-west, then he has less of an opportunity to get positive yards. Tuskegee made the running back go east-west. They end up getting the ball back to their offense with Morehouse leaving with no points.
Now it's up to Ahmad Duramus with 7:57 and a 7-point lead to work themselves out of their own territory. They give to Taylor, and Taylor is met by Travion Lucky, who brings him down.
Yeah, now this is where you're going to see the tempo of Tuskegee slow down, because they're now in what you want to call your 4-minute offense. They're going to take as much time as they can to get up to the line of scrimmage and snap the ball, whereas Morehouse wants to have a sense of urgency, because now the clock is against Morehouse and Tuskegee is trying to wear the clock down. So you're going to see them take their time when it comes to play calling and getting up to the offensive line.
Still staying in the game is Justice Owens at that fullback position. And they once again give it to Taron Taylor. And once again, that defensive front for Morehouse is there to make a play. That was Terrence Mitchell, middle linebacker, in on that tackle.
Now, what's going to be key for Morehouse and Terrence Mitchell and all the rest of this Morehouse defense, they know Tuskegee is going to run the ball. So what they have to do, they have to limit the big run on 1st and 2nd down, because that's what Tuskegee is going to do. Force them into a passing play, knock the ball down, that stops the clock, but they cannot allow Tuskegee to run the ball consecutively and consistently on the ground.
3rd down. Incomplete, intended for Javaris Cheatham, but the ball was thrown out of bounds.
That's a great series by Morehouse. Again, Tuskegee tried to pound the ball, ground and pound. Morehouse didn't back down. They stood up to the running game, forces Tuskegee into a throwing situation. Incomplete pass, which stops the clock and allows Morehouse to keep their 2 timeouts to use at some point in this game.
Dalton Hall to punt for Tuskegee. Smith deep for Morehouse, and it will take a sideways bounce out of down. Tuskegee's defense able to show that they do have fourth down grit, able to get a huge stop, making the fullback go sideways. Rich Freeman and the Maroon Tigers trying to get back into this game with 6:16 left to play, down by 7. You see the numbers for Sims. Leading passer in the league, this time to Knuckles, and Reese Knuckles out of bounds with a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, again, great concept by Morehouse. They're using the concept of spreading the defense, and they're using their strength, which is to catch after the run. Knuckles, Dunn, and allowing Sims at time to use his legs. But they need to continue to spread Tuskegee's defense out and dink and dunk and let the receivers use that yak yards after the catch.
Three yards for the first. Sims dinks and dunks to Dunn. Santo Dunn gets the first down, and Moore down to the 35.
Again, it works like perfection. Allow the outside receivers to stretch the defense. And then you have a person, explosive person like Dunn. Let him sneak out through the line, go to the side, let Sims hit him on the run, pick up positive yards. Morehouse is playing like the Morehouse that shows on paper when you look at the SIAC statistics.
Number one in offense in mostly every category in the league. Sims throwing it out to Knuckles, and Knuckles spin moves and able to get a first down. Hair flies of Leatherwood as he was trying to make the play, but another close to a first down. Check that was Trevor Gabaka.
Sims is doing a great job of managing this particular drive. It's not quite a 2-minute type of offense, but they are in a sense of urgency where they need to get a score on the board.
Santo Dunn, nice cutback, able to get the first and more inside the 20. Very elusive but strong all at the same time.
Yeah, again, give it to Dunn, the defensive line, even the defensive lineman of Tuskegee. You see Leatherwood misses a tackle there. Dunn picks up positive yards. Now, what if, let's go back into history, get into the time machine. What if Morehouse had kicked that field goal instead of going for it on 4th down?
Could have the lead after a touchdown. You're right. 1st and 10. Quick pass to Gooden, Tramel Gooden, his big target. Check that, Ryan Edwards, his tight end, with the reception and enough to move the chains.
Quick hitter here. Quick hitter, big guy, big tight end, hard to cover, big body guy. Let him catch it, get upfield, positive yards for Morehouse. They are on the move.
Senior from Mays High School in Atlanta, his 11th reception of the year. Dunn once again eludes the first defender, which was DeVaris Thomas, and able to fall forward for a positive yard. Brings up 2nd down and goal from the 9.
And this is where Morehouse don't want to do anything to hurt themselves. Penalties. This is where guys have to focus. Yeah, you're tired, but you got to stay focused. Sims, we got to throw the ball to the open person. Give what the defense, take what the defense gives you. Morehouse is doing a great job on this drive, this series here.
Dunn, in and out of his hands.
Again, sneaking Dunn out to the flats. Great throw. He looks like he tried to turn up before he took possession of the football. That always happens. But in situations like this, we got to make sure we don't allow nothing, any opportunity to slip through our hands, and that pass slipped through Dunn's hands right there.
3rd and goal. Ball is on the 9. Timeout called by Morehouse. So now you're basically playing a 2-play game. You got to get one to get you as close as you can to the end zone, and then after that, you got a big decision to make.
Well, you know, situation like this, you know, they got one timeout. We're talking about Morehouse. They got one timeout, okay? If we can score a touchdown, that's beautiful, okay? Now we just allow our defense to go back out and try to shut down Tuskegee's offense, which Morehouse's defense has been doing. But if they get in a situation where they do not get a touchdown on this play, I think you still allow your defense to play, but you may have to go for it on 4th down, and the game is basically going to be won or lost on this particular play right here, this 3rd down play. It's unfortunate that Morehouse is in his position. I thought they should have kicked the field goal instead of going for it on 4th down. That would make it a little bit easier on this particular play call to go ahead and kick another field goal. Now you're down by 1 point, and you actually put the focus on your defense to stop Tuskegee. But now they have to get the ball in the end zone.
3rd down. Both sides fans are getting engaged right now more than they've been the entire day on this play. Give to Dunn, and Dunn is able to get positive yards, not into the end zone, but inside the 5, down to, they will call him down exactly at the 5-yard line. So now looking at 4th and goal from the 5.
Yeah, the game is going to be won or lost right here. The play call is going to be very important. Do they spread Tuskegee's defense out and make them play the whole field and then maybe sneak a draw up in between? Or do they Morehouse try to tighten up the offense by putting everybody in close and having maybe one receiver on each side spread it wide, and let's just see who's the toughest? But they've been doing a great job of spreading Tuskegee's defense and finding open gaps, which it looks like they're doing here.
Timeout called by Morehouse. Looked like they were running out of time on the play clock. When we come back, we'll see what the play call is and if Morehouse can find their way into the end. 4th and goal. And Tyrone, you were talking about the 12th man on the field. What is it?
The back of the end zone.
Option for Frank Bailey. Halfback pass. Looks like it's a score for Gooden, and it is. Tramel Gooden with the huge play. Halfback pass from Bailey to Tramel Gooden.
Now, if you're going to draw up a play, if you're going to try to, in a situation like this is a play that you would think would not work because of what we just said. The 12th man, which is the back of the end zone, which a lot of fans don't realize that is what the offense has to face when they are this close to the end zone. And on this particular play, they did a receiver halfback throw, hoping that the defense would come up. Defense was in good position, but just a great transition catch by the receiver.
All important point after attempt by Fernando Sells-Demora, and it is good. And with 1 minute and 33 seconds left, it, as Yogi Berra would say, it's deja vu all over again. It was a tight game last year in which Tuskegee won on the last play in overtime, and now with 1 minute and 33 seconds left, it looks like this play may have pushed us into overtime.
Yeah, again, halfback option. Defensive guy loses the trajectory or the vision of the football. Receiver makes a great adjustment. And the way he threw the ball, you could tell it was almost like a Hail Mary in it throwing. He didn't have any type of good mechanics. He just threw it up, hoping that the receiver would make the play, and the play was made by Gooden. Great play. Tuskegee now has an opportunity with this kickoff return. They still have all of their timeouts with 1:33 left. That's a long time with 3 timeouts.
And you can see the Morehouse faithful who have remained, who haven't gone to their tent to start tailgating again. You see Ladario Petway for the Golden Tigers. He is always dangerous. And now sells Morehoure with the kick to Petway inside his tent. And this time Petway is thrown down. And let's take a look at that game-tying score for Morehouse.
Yeah, we got Frank Bailey here going to the right side of your television screen. Throws it up. Great catch by Gooden. Uses all of that 6'4" pounds to jump up and catch the ball. And again, you see the excitement. This point of the game, this is what it's all about.
To get over the hump of losing 11 of your last 12 to one of your bitter rivals, it takes a game like this to turn the table, because for years Tuskegee Golden Tigers have had the momentum, and right now they're 1 minute and 23 seconds away from deciding if they have the final momentum in this game. Justice Owens, this time he goes nowhere fast. That defensive front for Morehouse is right there. Kamari Jones-Hunter right there with the tackle.
What you don't want to see, if that's Owens, he's been a big part of this offense. You don't want to see him on the ground, and you don't want to see him have to go off the field, because at this point of the game, you need all of your thoroughbreds out there on the field, and he is one of those thoroughbreds that has been winning races all day for Tuskegee with big plays.
Justice Owens, we don't know if he'll find you guilty or not guilty, but we know for sure he'll get you 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he'll get you 2 touchdowns, and he'll get you big plays. So now Morehouse, they know Owens is out of the game, okay? We don't have to worry about him, okay? Now let's see what type of defense Morehouse is going to dial up. With a blitz? Again, Tuskegee has 3 timeouts, but they're taking their time coming up to the line of scrimmage. Are they playing for overtime, or are they trying to score with a minute left?
Hodges in motion. Getting some pressure. Finds the hot receiver, Steve Hodges, close to a first down.
Same concept they had earlier in the game. Hodges going to the flat, running it from his actual slot position. Duramus finds him, gets good positive yards for Tuskegee, which brings up a 3rd down. Again, Tuskegee has all of their timeouts. 48 seconds doesn't seem like a lot, but when you got 3 timeouts, that's actually almost about 2 minutes that you can play with.
3rd and short. Taylor, and woo, he was met with a wall. And say hello to number 23, Mitchell, in on the tackle, the senior, Terrence Mitchell. Good tackle there by Mitchell.
Oh, when you talk about stopping them in their tracks, boom, right there in his tracks. Mitchell goes forward, the running back goes backward.
Duramus goes down. Another sack by the defense, this time Trayvon Lucky, and this defense has the momentum with 27 seconds left.
Oh, Lucky in sacks, Lucky in plays, Lucky, he's made big opportunities cashing in today. Again, he comes in, sacks the quarterback. Morehouse has a lot of momentum on their side. Now you got to ask yourself, if I'm Tuskegee, do I just go ahead and kneel on the ball and just play for overtime? That's probably what the coaches are asking themselves. I'm thinking with 23 seconds, 27 seconds, they're actually going to try to play for overtime. It doesn't make any sense to try to do anything. I wouldn't see them do anything different than to run the ball right here and try to run the time out the clock and play for overtime.
2nd and long. Duramus throwing a bubble screen, and looks like it was incomplete, intended for Taylor. Just dropped it.
But that's a great play call, the screen. There's a little bit of the run and a little bit of the pass. So if you catch it, it's going to turn into a big play because they're basically using Morehouse's aggressiveness against them. Morehouse, they feel that energy. They try to get to the quarterback. That was a perfect play call to try to take advantage of Morehouse's energy level right now, but the ball fell incomplete. Could have been a big play, but incomplete. Let's try it again.
22 seconds. It's third, and we're going to call it 18. They need to get beyond the 40-yard line to continue this drive. Taylor on the far side using his quick feet, but this time another big hit. And we're going to see if they call that one a target. Not sure. How do you bring down a guy that small?
Yeah, again, we see you got to let him play football. You got to let him play football. Looked like Norman came up and just put his shoulder. Helmet was nowhere in the vicinity of a helmet-helmet contact. He just laid his shoulder into the running back, and you get a penalty. So, you know, hey, let's go ahead and put flags on him and, you know, take out the shoulder pads. I'm is that what the game coming to these days?
Here's the dilemma. Taylor is less than 5'7". How do you tackle somebody less than 5'7" if you're trying to get low pad level?
Yeah, this is where even if the referee makes an error call, I think they need to have a review on every play, even with tackles. There you go, the illegal hit. You got to let him play football. He uses his shoulder pad. That is, if you want to take a highlight and show everyone how you're supposed to tackle with your shoulder pad, that is the highlight on that clip that you take on that play right there.
And Coach Slater is just trying to find out what's going on. He's saying, that's me. I'm saying it.
But again, Norman comes up, lays his shoulder pads. That's the way you're supposed to tackle. So we need to pull that clip out and send it across college, high school, and the NFL.
Play clock will run down to 0, and for the second year in a row, we will go into overtime. And the reason why we were in overtime, Coach Freeman and his offensive staff reached into their bag of tricks. Instead of going to their normal quarterback, Frank Bailey Jr., to Tramel Gooden, an alley-oop for the score and the celebration, and now we will have overtime right coming up next.
I didn't choose it. It chose me.
We're all tied up at 17, but it's just what happened last year. Morehouse had the momentum until Tuskegee's defense gets an interception in overtime, which leads to a long run, one step away from the goal, and eventually it would be Tuskegee, which would get their first lead of the game at the end of the game with an overtime victory, 23-17 in overtime, and which propelled Morehouse to a series of losses that they did not end their losing streak until their season-ending win over Clark Atlanta. And now Coach Freeman is like, oh no, we're doing this again.
Yeah, this is where you're 5-0. You play some close games. We can go back and look at Morehouse's schedule, and they have played some close games, winning by Hail Marys, defensive stops, offensive situations where they had to convert. So I feel like in this situation, unlike last year, Morehouse has been battle tested, and it's all about, can they continue to do what they have been doing early in this game, spread Tuskegee's defense out and allow Dunn to maneuver in between the tackles, run and pass, and throw the ball on the outside and just go down the field and score.
And both teams will have the opportunity to have an offensive possession in the overtime. Tuskegee has won the toss. And Tuskegee will defend. Morehouse will defend the far end of the field. Second year in a row we have overtime, but a little role reversal. Let's see who will take the ball first. It looks like Tuskegee will defend first. and Morehouse will have offensive possession first. So actually it is exactly what happened last year with Morehouse with the ball first.
Now this is, we talk about the players getting tired. Let's think about the coaches as well. These guys, they get tired as well. They can have mental lapse during games as well. This is what they call intangibles. So this is where the intangible for Morehouse, their coaches are going to have to keep that energy level up on themselves and make the right play calls for this offense.
Ball is set at the 25. You can get a first down and continue your drive on. And that first play to Amir Smith goes nowhere fast as the defense is able to make a huge stop to rally their fan base.
Again, they're going back to the receiver screen, okay? How many times are we going to run this receiver screen? Morehouse, let's go back to what we have been doing earlier. Tuskegee is fired up. They're ready for that play. Great play by Tuskegee defense.
Ricky Norris there to make that initial stop for Tuskegee. Santo Dunn. Flag is thrown, but Dunn able to get some positive yards.
Look like
Khalil Gray there on the tackle. Think a hold?
I'm rolling the dice, holding. Again, Morehouse, they are committing these MEs, and you can see the expression on Coach Freeman's face is too many penalties. How many penalties are too many penalties in a game? And that look on Coach Freeman's face tells you that they've committed too many today.
So rather than second down and short, they're looking at second down and about 20. Sims being pressured by Leatherwood and almost intercepted. And that was DeVaris Thomas, the reigning defensive player of the week, showing why he is one of the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah, great play by DeVaris Thomas. But what sets it up, they are able to get the quarterback to the outside, put him in an uncomfortable position. Anytime you can get the quarterback scrambling, rolling outside of the pocket, the technique is not good, but you're going to get an errant throw, and that ball almost got picked off, which would have been a bad spot for Morehouse.
Penalties have been the bugaboo for Morehouse. 10 penalties for 80 yards so far in this game. Third down and 20. Overtime. Sims finds his receiver close to a first down. Trevor Gahaba.
This is what Morehouse does. They've been doing this very well all day today. Spread the defense. Run seams. They ran vertical routes on this particular play. The middle of the field wide open.
Longest field goal so far this season is Fernando Sales-Demora's 36-yarder. This will be about a 37-yarder, which he missed earlier today. Timeout called by Tuskegee.
Again, you're looking at Coach Slater. He's been in this particular situation many times in his career. So you see the calm, collective look on his face. He's the type of coach. I remember playing against him when I was in college. So Tuskegee, they've always had a great tradition, and he's that type of guy that if you're in a situation, if you're a Tuskegee fan or alumni, you always feel comfortable with that guy on the sideline in situations like this.
And when you played, he was at North Alabama. At that time, they were a perennial Division II power. He was the offensive coordinator there, moved on to Temple as the offensive coordinator before coming in and taking over the head coaching position at Tuskegee. Sells to Moore for the kick to give them the lead. Kick is up and no good. Wide left. Fernando sells to Moore wide left.
Field goals are not automatic in this game. It almost seemed like you want to go for it on 4th down, but again, pressure gets put on the kicker. You got to convert. Just like we saw earlier, drop passes here. Hooked it just a little too much. I think the pressure off the edge did a little bit to help make that field goal miss. So now it's on Morehouse's defense. They cannot give up anything because any type of score by Morehouse wins the game.
And they're hoping Yogi Berra's statement is not true when they say it's deja vu all over again. But right now, for Tuskegee, they have the momentum in their favor. Broken play. And Kenny Gant goes nowhere fast.
Now that will help. That will help when you can allow or the other team, Tuskegee, to hinder themselves by running into one another. It kind of helps Morehouse. So now what Morehouse has to do, they have to create another big play. If Tuskegee throws the ball, it has to be incomplete. If they run the ball, it has to be a negative for negative yards. Morehouse cannot bend, not even a little bit, yield any type of yards to Tuskegee.
Ramsey and Cheatham split out on the far side of each side of the field. And now, once again, a running play kept by DeRamus, and he's upended and flipped over. Good defensive play there by Jonathan Mathis coming in from the safety position.
Yeah, you see DeRamus, he runs, good play, good tackle, flips the quarterback, make him think twice about running that football again like that. Nobody likes to get flipped upside down.
Unless you're a gymnast.
I think sometimes they don't like it, but they have to do it because that's what they do.
That's right. 3rd down and 9. And brought down, no gain, is Justice Owens. Looks like he got a loss there, which will bring up a 4th down situation.
Great series for Morehouse right here. Great series to keep Tuskegee from advancing the ball with the advantages that Tuskegee has to be able to run the ball and throw the ball, and with the great coach Slater on the sideline. This is a very big victory for Morehouse, depending on this field goal.
For Huskett Arns, his longest is 35 yards. Morehouse calls a timeout to try to ice the young kicker.
Now, what I like is the fact that Morehouse did not yield not 1 yard. If you look at where Tuskegee took over the ball, it was on the 25. They actually, out of 3 plays, they have lost about 4 yards. So, again, this is a great play on this series. First series by Morehouse in overtime. Now the defense has to create enough pressure on the kicker to force him to rush his kick or to hook the ball too much. So again, this icing, taking the time out, doesn't really work. We're about to find out.
If there is a miss here, we will go into a second overtime. Huskett Arns with his possibly longest field goal of his young career. He's just a freshman. Kick is up. No good. No good.
Now, if we are able to see it, the kicker actually hesitated before kicking the ball. Did that have an effect on his approach? As a hesitate, he's coming for, That right there, I believe, threw off his mechanics and kicking the ball. Kicking field goals is all about timing.
Both kickers go wide left. And now we will go into a second overtime.
Now, if I'm Morehouse, again, Coach Williams, the offensive coordinator, spread Tuskegee out. Get those verticals. Have Santo Dunn sneak out the backfield. Bailey sneak out the backfield. Have a high-low concept with your play calling.
And for Rich Freeman, how important is this game? People were talking about beating Tuskegee 2 weeks ago, and they still were playing other teams. No one on campus, no one in the alumni base were worried about Miles or anybody else. They had it circled here in Columbus. So now, second overtime, reverse roles. Tuskegee has the ball first in double overtime.
I don't expect you to see Tuskegee run the same plays they did previously.
DeRamus looking for a wide open Owens and just missed his fingertips. The hot hand has sort of simmered here in the double overtime.
Owens comes out the backfield, runs a seam route, gets him one-on-one with the linebacker, safety. Ball just on the edge of his fingertips. That's the one they say, even if it hits your hands, you're supposed to catch it. But that's a great play. I didn't expect Tuskegee to come back and run the same plays that they did. Again, they are making adjustments, AQ. So I expect to see more of what you just saw passing than you did on the early series.
DeRamus getting pressure on the backside. Long throw. And intended for Ramsey, incomplete. He did make the reception, but he was out of bounds.
Yeah, again, DeRamus, good throw, shoulder up. You know that ball is going deep. Leads the receiver just a little too much. Missed it by that much.
You watch too much Big Smart.
But I didn't expect to see Tuskegee.
Hands in the face. Defense. Number 26. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Dedrick Vanover, the defender, called for the illegal hands to the face. And now, once again, we talked about this earlier, 10 penalties for 80 yards. Now this is 11 penalties, getting close to the century mark in yardage, and a lot of it defensive penalties.
Again, Morehouse still can save themselves by not giving up a touchdown. A field goal is good, but do not give up a touchdown.
DeRamus going to keep it. Gets close to the 5, down at about the 7.
And for Tuskegee, you want to get a touchdown. You've just been given good field position by a play of aggressiveness that sometimes guys get caught doing a little too much extracurricular activity during a play. And Morehouse defense has been penalized, puts Tuskegee in a great position to try to get 6 points, 7 with the extra point on the scoreboard.
Run play goes nowhere. Defense right there to stand strong.
But, you know, this is where we talked to Coach Slater. He says the problem that he has with his offense is when they get in positions like this, they bog down. So, again, will Tuskegee hurt themselves again by bogging down and not being able to take advantage of opportunities inside the red zone again from the 20 to the goal line? Some teams call it the green zone. Offense call it green zone.
They can still get a first down without scoring. Option play, reverse, Cheatham, wide open. One man to beat into the end zone. Touchdown, Javaris Cheatham on the reverse.
Again, Morehouse had a trick play. They ended up scoring. Tuskegee comes back with a trick play. Catches the defense sleeping. Cheatham uses his speed to get into the end zone for a touchdown for Tuskegee.
And the Golden Tiger faithful parlay and play. That's what we do all day at Tuskegee. That's their way. Cheatham with a 10-yard touchdown run, and now Arns with the point after attempt. All important here because that'll put him up 7. Kick is up and good. Tuskegee up 24-17, and Javars Cheatham, man of the hour.
Cheatham, the big guy, the big-time receiver for Tuskegee, steps up on a trick play, catches the defense over pursuing, nobody in sight until he gets to the end zone, but it's too little, too late. Touchdown, Tuskegee.
Known as a good pass-catching wide receiver, does something a little uncharacteristic, running the football in.
You got to do it in all kinds of ways. They can go by land or by ground, by air or by ground, as they would say. Passing or throwing, he does it all.
So now the onus is on Morehouse. If they want this to continue, you see the offensive coordinator, Harry Williams, in his second year. He's got to try to draw up some plays to keep this game going. All right, quick pass.
Things like that, quick passes, spread the defense of Tuskegee out and allow the quarterback to pick them apart. That has been very successful for Morehouse in the times that they have done it, whether it's been in the empty or whether they've been in trips, but spread the defense of Tuskegee, make them defend the whole field.
Second and short. Give to Dunn. Dunn finds his way close to the end zone. Touchdown, Santo Dunn.
When you do it like that, when you spread the defense, they have to defend the whole field. It creates gaps. It creates opening. And when you have an explosive running back like Santo Dunn, he's able to see the open hole, use his speed, and that's what you get as a touchdown. So again, we're looking at it. You see the defensive guy dropping back in zone. They don't see Santo Dunn because they're trying to defend areas of the field. He uses his speed, gets into the end zone for Morehouse.
Point after attempt, sells DeMora. Kick is up and good, and now we go into a third overtime. Call it a marathon.
Yeah, this is where you had an oxygen tank on the sideline, and every guy is getting a puff, 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 puff pass, huh? Getting the oxygen. Everybody's tired.
Oxygen.
Oxygen, yes, oxygen. Puff, puff, pass. Inhale, inhale, pass. But what I'm trying to say is everybody's tired. This is where you had the oxygen on the sideline.
And let's take a look at the 2 touchdowns that have propelled us into this third overtime. You see the reverse by Cheatham, his first rushing touchdown of the season. And then Santo Dunn with his 10th touchdown, make that 8th touchdown of the season.
Again, great play calling by Morehouse, great play calling by Tuskegee. Now, if they continue to keep this momentum up, then we're probably going to see another overtime. Now, I don't think no game should ever end in a tie. I think you should play just like they do in baseball. If it goes 20 innings, we go 20 innings, but we're going to have a winner.
And remember, now, no point after attempt, you have to go for 2. Pullback pass, reception made by Amir Smith.
Now Coach Williams is beginning to feel it. He is beginning to play the wide open concept again. Spread the defense of Tuskegee. Make them defend sideline to sideline.
And now we have a player down for Tuskegee. And it looks like he's holding that hamstring.
Yeah, you know, this is a time that, these guys have played a lot of plays. I'm pretty sure if you were to count the snaps after today's game, they will have played offensively and defensively at least over 80-something plays. That's a lot of snaps. And guys start to cramp. Guys start to lose electrolytes. Energy level drops. Mentally, you start to lose focus. And you just hope that guys don't do anything to cause anything serious. But cramps do start to happen at this time of the game. They have played a lot of plays out there today, and it's been hot.
Each team has run 61 plays apiece. Khalil Gray is there on the field. You got to add to that. This is a rivalry. Raise that level of intensity. And it's been 90-plus degrees, and we've got guys with football pads on.
Yeah, again, the heat looks like that's what it is. He's losing a lot of electrolytes. Electrolytes are anything from your magnesium, your calcium, all sodium. These are the things that really take a toll on the body in this heat. So, yes, you could drink water, but water is a detoxifier. It actually washes out your electrolytes. So this is where the guys drink Gatorade. They drink anything that can replenish the electrolytes in the body so it prevents cramps and the muscles fatiguing. But it's a brutal game. It's hot. You got pads on. It's a lot of ordeal, a lot of things happening out there on that field to the body.
Combined over 730 yards of total offense between the two teams. And now we'll see if Morehouse can get on the scoreboard here in the third overtime stanza. Give to Dunn. Dunn trying to find some room and does on the outside. Nice cutback on the inside. Touchdown, Morehouse, Santo Dunn.
Great individual play by Santo Dunn here. This is why this guy is in the top as far as statistics in the SIAC rushing and all-around purpose running back. He's a key for this Morehouse offense. That was a great individual effort by Dunn, and you see he knows it.
Doesn't look tired at all in triple overtime. His third touchdown of the afternoon.
This Morehouse team has really stepped up, and they are showing why they are a 5-0 team and trying to become 6-0.
And as you can see, Tuskegee is not releasing this mantle lightly.
Well, when you're a champion, there's a great program as Tuskegee, you fight to the end. And they have a great program at Tuskegee. They do not give it up easily.
Mandatory two-point conversion. You can't kick it anymore because you're in the third overtime stanza. And now timeout, Morehouse, because this is important. You get 2 here, you're up 8. You don't make it, you're down 6. I mean, you're only up 6.
You know, one of the greatest two-point. Well, again, we look at Santo Dunn, his run here, great effort, good move here to get to the outside, uses his vision, almost went down there with the arm tackle, but too strong for it, uses his speed, balance, and quickness to get into the end zone. Again, take a look. Great inside, outside move there, not going down with one arm. Good balance, stretches the ball over the goal line, touchdown Tuskegee.
And for the game, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns on 18 carries. Not bad for a young man that told coach, hey, I want to play running back. They moved him around as a wide receiver, as a scat back, a return guy. He said, coach, just give me the ball.
And he's sticking to his average. He was averaging 6.8 yards on the ground, and I'm pretty sure he's right around that as well.
All important two-point conversion here. And there was movement along the line.
Again, penalties.
5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
Looks like there was movement along that line. Tramel Gooden caught the touchdown that sent us to overtime.
And you know, they're kind of in the area of the stadium where it's not quite closed in like a football field, but it's actually closed in to the point where you're going to hear a lot of more of the actual fans versus on the other end of this Coliseum where it's open and there's not as much noise. So it really takes a lot more concentration on this end of the field.
2-point conversion. Throw. Pushing and shoving. Incomplete. And there is a flag. Tramel Gooden, the intended receiver.
It looked like a great play by Darnell Hill to me, but we'll see what the call is.
Pass interference. Defense, number 16. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. We'll redo the try.
Let's take a look at Darnell Hill's technique. He gets his head around. At some point, you got to let him play football. He gets his head around, which indicates he has a right to the football as well. So that particular play, if I am a back judge, I keep the flag in my pocket. He turned his head around. Unlike other defensive backs, they do not get their head around. Darnell Hill turned his head around, saw the football, and made an athletic play.
2-point conversion continues from the 2. Running play. And we'll see what they call. They say it's no good in Trevion Baker, the fullback. Seems like this is the second time they've tried to push him forward in short yardage, and he's been knocked sideways. So now it's just a 6-point lead for Morehouse.
Again, you bunch up your offense, which is going to make the defense bunch up. Spread the defense out, then do this dive play is more effectively. But when you're trying to go nose for nose, everybody's tired. The energy level is not going to be the same as it was if you would have run that particular play in the first quarter. Here, as an offensive coordinator, as offensive guys, you got to give your offensive players the best opportunities to make plays. So this is where those intangible comes in again. That intangible, you got the offense, defense, special teams, and then there's a little bracket that says intangibles. That's where the coaching comes in.
So now it is Tuskegee's opportunity. We're in the third overtime, which means no point after kicks. If you do score, you must go for 2. Tuskegee trying to continue their win streak in the 83rd annual Tuskegee Morehouse Classic.
We saw them throw the ball. Will they throw the ball again?
Trying to find their favorite receiver, incomplete. Intended for Javaris Cheatham, who ran in an overtime score.
Well, if you're going to try to win the game, this is the guy you go with. If I'm Atlanta Falcons, I'm going to go to Julio Jones. If I'm Tuskegee, I'm going to Cheatham. This is the guy that the defense has to know where he is at all times. A better throw, that possibly could have been a touchdown. But they went to the right guy. They went to their go-to receiver.
2nd down and 10. Gant. Kenny Gant. Spin move. Stays on his feet. Knocked out of bounds close to a 1st down. He is the fresh running back.
Yeah, he's a fresh running back. He's a fresh running back, that's true. But there is such of a thing called the tempo of the game. Is he up to the tempo of the game? Again, he makes a great athletic move just to stay on his feet. But just being a fresh running back, yeah, that's good. But also there's some momentum and tempo of the game that he has to come right into and be ready to play to that level of intensity in this game.
3rd and 2, they can get a 1st down to keep this going. Justice Owens, and he is bunched up and met by a wall of black shirts, which will bring up a 4th down.
Now, if I'm Morehouse, what type of defense do you play? Do you play a defense that basically guards the goal line, or do you go and you blitz and try to make them throw the ball quickly, because you know that's what they're going to do here. They're going to have to throw the ball, being it is 4th down, and they got some yards to cover.
4th and short. Triple overtime. They need a first to continue. A stop here, Morehouse will win the game. Tuskegee, Coach Slater wants to make sure they get the call right. And he just says a few words, walks off.
Now, if I'm an offensive coordinator in this situation, I know I got to get the ball to the end zone, okay? There's several concepts that I think work very well in this particular play, in this particular part of the end zone, which we've seen Tuskegee do. They run the seam. They've had Justin Owens come out the backfield and run straight up the seam. They've had 4 verticals, which 4 receivers go. They try to dump it down to running back and let him utilize his quickness and ability to get into the end zone. So they run screens. So they have a great selection of plays to choose from. The only point is, can Duramus connect?
Give to Owens, and this time he's stonewalled. Depending on the spot, it looks like Morehouse got over the hump. The Maroon Tigers win. The streak is over. Morehouse wins. Morehouse wins on a 4th down stance. Pandemonium on the field. Elation for Morehouse. For Tuskegee, the streak is finally over. Michael Sims and the rest of the Maroon Tigers finally can walk away with a Tuskegee Morehouse Classic victory.
Yeah, we go back and we take a look at this stop here. Great defensive play by Morehouse. Yes, Tuskegee, they want to get the first. They go to their go-to guy, Justin Owens, but great surge by that Morehouse defense. The big guys up front push the Tuskegee offensive line back and stop Owens. No gain. Morehouse walks away with a victory, goes to 6-0, and they have proven that they are a legitimate 6-0 team by beating a team that had dominated them in the last series of this classic.
That's why they called it a classic, because this game always ends dramatically. Incredible game by Santos Dunn. 3 touchdowns for the young running back. Last touchdown by Santos Dunn, which gave them the lead. Going to the outside, nice cutback for the score. And the defense. Much has been said about this defense, but when it's time to step up, they have been able to step up in a major way on 4th down, stopping Justice Owens and sealing the game. Tyrone, your final comment about this afternoon's marathon game.
We saw 2 teams today. One team that is up and rising, which is Morehouse, and one veteran team, Tuskegee, that has always been there. Morehouse has shown today, not only to us, but everybody in this attendance, that they are a legitimate team that should be respected, and they're not just a 6-0 team on paper. They are a 6-0 team on the field.
And we see the fans continuing to celebrate, continuing to know that, yes, their team is 6-0. So for Tyrone Poole, I'm James Verrett saying so long from Columbus, Georgia. Final score, Morehouse 30, Tuskegee 24 in triple overtime. All games are airing on ESPN networks and are streaming live on the ESPN app, or watch the entire game and replay as well as other games on the family of ESPN networks. Log on to thewatchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.